Is the current NBA watered down? Now, I know some of you guys don't like to hear this because you guys would like for us to big up the current NBA, which we do. We come up here every day. We talk about the games. We talk about the players. And apparently we love the product because we cover the product every day. But chill, Pin, that doesn't mean that we can't be honest and talk about whether this generation might not be as good as prior generations or whether it is. I just would like to have an honest conversation and get down to the bottom of some things that current NBA or that former NBA players have said, such as Lamar Odom. And I'll play this video here in a second. But Pin, chill. What are you guys' opening thoughts about whether the NBA is indeed watered down? Oh, and by the way, the show is brought to you by none other than Splash Sports.
Nice. I said this to you guys last season. Last season was the best NBA season that I've ever seen. That includes the 2016 season. That includes the 1988 season. That includes the 2000 season. I think the talent level in the NBA is immense. I think that the creativity from coaches and offenses, I think that's where things get a little bit misconstrued. I think this is largely due, Ron, to where we live today. We live in a space where everything is about me. And because everything is about me, that's what we're making the game about. We're making it more one-on-one. And I think that we're going away from the beauty of the game. These guys are immensely talented. These guys are ridiculous athletes. And because we make these guys just one-on-one guys, I think that that goes away from how awesome the game really is. But I think that where the game is today, I think the game is in a great space. I think we have a ridiculous amount of talent. I think we got some really good teams in the league, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from the NBA. I'm loving it.
Pin, thoughts?
Shout outs to Chill, man. Showing some love to the sport. I love it. It's so much easier to tear things down than it is to build them up. So much easier to point out what's wrong than look for what's right. I think basketball is in a great place. World over. I think the game is growing. I think the players are getting more talented. I think the coverage of the game, that's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
We don't respect a 42, 43 win team anymore. You got to win it or you got to tank. You know what I mean? There's no respect for the Chicago Bulls. We troll the Chicago Bulls. Nobody cares about the Chicago Bulls. Oh, they're trying to make the play-in tournament. I thought this was about winning. You try to make all these incentives. I think the issue with the game is how it's covered. You got analysts who don't watch these teams saying everyone plays the same way. And you got people watching these teams being like, I don't think they play the same way. They don't play the same way. I think the game is expanded in a lot of ways. I think people need to catch up.
And to his point, Ron, we have a lot of quote-unquote analysts in the game and former players who say that, which drives me crazy. One of the things that drive me crazy when I hear guys like, I heard Kenyon Martin say, these guys aren't playing defense today. That makes me nuts when I hear that, because there's plenty of guys who are playing defense. There's plenty of guys who do their work early. There's plenty of guys who understand how to play defense. There's plenty of guys who are getting on the glass. Because they don't do it the way you did it, that doesn't mean that it's not getting done. It's just getting done in a different way. Yes, guys are doing their work early, but I'm not bowling a guy in the chest when he comes to the free throw line, right? I'm just slowing him up a little bit. I'm bodying him. So when I got a guy on the block, so instead of sticking my knee up his ass like they did back in the day, that's how they played defense, I'm slipping him and I'm fronting him. That's defense today. I think the difference is a lot of these guys haven't graduated to what it is now as opposed to what it was before, because they want to stay stuck in what it was before. Evan Mobley is playing defense. Jared Allen plays defense. Triple J plays defense. Dyson Daniels is one of the best perimeter defenders that I've seen in a long ass time. I mean, these guys 100% play defense. And I think that these guys, they do a disservice when they say stuff like that, because what it does is when you say stuff like that, you make it look like that's the collection of the league. No, it's not. It's not like that at all.
I do want to push back, if you will. And I want to start by saying this. I don't think the NBA is whack. I love the NBA. Mm-hmm. I do, in fact, think it is a bit watered down. The fundamentals of the game, the tradition of the game, things like that, the way that sets are run, the way defense is played, things like that. However, the game's more entertaining than it's ever been. I watch the NBA every single day because I love basketball. I love what the game has evolved into.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those. I'm not stuck in the 80s. I'm not stuck in the 90s. I do believe the brand of basketball in the 2000s was more pure, but does that mean it's better? I don't know. Do I think it's watered down? Yes, I do. Do I think it's more entertaining and better? Yes, I also do. I think two things can be true.
Well, here's the thing, Ron, that I wanted to ask you, because you say watered down. Is that because of the product of the coaching not being more creative as opposed to guys just not being good? Because when I think about watered down, I think about a league where, you know, you got a lot of guys in the league that aren't as good, and just the talent level it's just been we got a whole bunch of really good players over here. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. We got a few good players over here, and the rest of the league is just meh. When in reality, I think we got a whole bunch of really good players in the league, but I think the creativity when it comes from coaches, I don't think that it's there. So when you say watered down, Ron, can you expand on that a little bit?
I mean, I don't want to say that coaches aren't creative. These are basketball geniuses. And I don't want to say players are even players from back in yesteryear, the role players. I don't want to say that they were bad, because they weren't. They just played their role. Nowadays, yes, role players do have a little more freedom. But when you say role players have more freedom, it's a jack up league. Like back in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and you know this. Penn, you know this too. You played into the shot clock to get a good shot. No matter who it was from. And more than likely it was a post-up shot. Now, you know, some analytics that say that that's not the best shot. Whatever. More than likely you drew up a play to get a certain shot. In today's NBA, it's not really that. You when you get your first look, if it's somewhat open, you jack it up. If Lou Dort gets a corner three, he's gonna jack it up. If the ball swung to him in the corner, he's gonna get it up. Casey Wallace, same thing. Isaiah Joe will shoot a damn three, and he's contested, and it won't matter. And it'll be early in the shot clock, and it won't matter. I'm not necessarily saying that that's a bad shot, because I do believe you're supposed to shoot in rhythm. I do believe that, you know, if it is a shot that you're comfortable with, if your coach is comfortable with you taking a shot, and if you are capable of making that shot, shoot it. But I do believe that, you know, you've lost a little bit of strategy in terms of hunting for that good shot that you want.
I think that has to do with coaching, though, Ron. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Penn.
Yeah, like I think we have a chance here before, like, I hope this debate doesn't get nasty and people start screaming over each other.
It probably will get there. Hopefully not the screaming part, but it'll probably get nasty.
I mean, it's hard for somebody who grew up in the 80s to see what's happening today, because they learned basketball in the 80s, to see this as good, because it kind of runs counter to what you were taught to do. Milking the clock was considered a good thing. Finding the best shot was a good thing. But now today, they're telling you, actually, the later you go into the clock, you're adding an extra defender to your possession. Go hunt early, right? It's running almost counter to what the rules were. Don't take so many threes. Look, get closer to the basket. Now they're saying take threes. It's actually good. We're better at it. The game has changed because the players have changed. The players have changed because the trainers have changed. The trainers have changed because really the math has changed, right? So it's really like, I hope that we can, in this episode, I know we probably won't, but I really hope we can build a bridge between the old generation and the new generation, to where we can say, you know what? Y'all did have that basketball IQ thing figured out. I really do like how y'all were learning the game and teaching the game. And there's definitely parts of the world right now that are still teaching the game that way. But maybe America could catch up a little bit, because the world sure the hell is catching up. But can we appreciate the skill level of some of these players? Because, man, it is something else. Right? Can we appreciate that? Yeah, maybe we don't like these early clock possessions, but can we appreciate how quickly Tyrese Halliburton is processing the game, and how quickly the Pacers are, like, first of all, when you rush, the reason you're not supposed to rush is because it creates turnovers. So the fact that you can rush this fast, and you can you might make 4 passes and get a shot off in 6 seconds, like, you should probably not be able to do that 25 years ago. So the fact that you can today, it kind of pushes back on the ego of some of the guys in the 80s and 90s. They'd be like, well, we were taught not to do that. It's like, you might not have been able to do that. And that's where it kicks the ego, right? Like, you know, Shaq being like, get down into the post, get the buckets. It's like, yeah, but that's your game. That's not Jokic's game. That's not Embiid's game. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
right. But with that being said, to Ron's point, I think the creativity when it comes from coaches, I think that's been a bit of an issue off the strength that it's really predictable. To Lamar Odom's point, like a lot of stuff you see, pick and roll, span, and that kind of stuff. If we got more action, I think that we'd see. I think we'd see an even better brand of basketball than we see today. And I think we see a good brand of basketball. There's teams that play really good basketball. The Golden State Warriors play really good basketball. The Miami Heat play really good basketball, offensively and defensively. I think the issue is a lot of these teams don't have the personnel to consistently play that kind of basketball. The team that I bring up more than anyone is last summer, Ron, when we watched the Olympics. I think the Australian team plays some of the best basketball that I've ever seen. The problem is that they don't have the personnel to really compete in this day in the Olympics because they don't have the talent. That's the issue. But the way that they play
that's
basketball,
why you play basketball like that, though.
When
you have a lack of talent,
yes,
that's why you play basketball like that.
Sure.
You have to play like that in order to compete when your talent level isn't like that. You got to move the ball. You got to set screens. You got to cut. You got to be able to move off the ball and know where to be and know where your teammates are. You have to play high IQ basketball. That is the only way
which is
you
fair.
can compete with teams that are have superior talent.
100%. I could get with that, Ron. But in the end, I do have to have talent that's comparable to what you have, right? I might not necessarily have Luka on my crew. I might not necessarily have Joker on my crew, but I have to have something after that that's comparable to what you have so I can compete at that level consistently. And I think that a lot of times with these teams, they don't have that. That's why you see the Charlotte Hornets shooting 55 threes in the game when they don't have the personnel to do that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's coaching.
Chill. Would you agree with the statement that the average player, whether you define average by mean, median, or mode, I really don't care. The average player in the NBA has never been more talented than he is today. Talented. I
literally just said this. If you run down everybody in the chat, I promise you, the Nasus Antetokounmpo will come to your local gym, and the best player in there, he will destroy him.
Oh, easy.
He will destroy him.
Oh,
sure. That ain't no different from in the 2000s.
That's true. That's true. Brian Scalabrine been destroying street ball hoopers and like D1 guys like for years now. No, I
think
get
that's
that
starting to be overstated that the average player is so much more talented than it used to be. Every time we go into a playoff series in these two, even in the 2020s, there are people that get left by themselves routinely. There are people that teams are zoning off of and leaving wide open, and they can't do anything with the basketball. We saw that with Lou Dort multiple times. We saw that with
Jared Vanderbilt.
Obviously. OKC was doing it to damn near the entire Minnesota roster when they played them, and these are, to me, good players. Nas Reed, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Julius, like. So I do think that's starting to get overstated how good the average NBA player is when we watch these playoff series, and damn near everybody's just playing zone because you can just leave people by themselves.
But to counter what you just said, I mean, Lou Dort was winning Oklahoma City games. I mean, he's cracking the long ball. He's making 4 or 5 threes in the game, which is the difference in them winning ball games, right? What's most
valuable about him?
How many times did he make 4 or 5 threes?
He did it more than once in the playoffs. He didn't just do it one time. Yes.
If you got to go to Lou Dort to talk about a lack of talent, you already cooked yourself. Because the idea here was
it's not about cooking. We're having a conversation. That's why you get cooked so much. But go ahead.
You just tried to cook some porridge.
I didn't. This is gonna be a fun day. I can tell. Go ahead.
What up? Go ahead. I'm sorry, Penn.
Woke up and chose violence. Look, I'm gonna just say this. I fundamentally
that was a joke. Keep going. Sidestep it. That was a joke.
It was a joke.
Okay,
come on. You are European. You got to learn how to Euro step sometimes.
That was a joke.
Okay,
man.
so here's the thing. I fundamentally disagree with you because I think the average player. Maybe I shouldn't use the word talented because talent is broad spectrum. You probably use the word skilled, dribble, pass, shoot, the ability to do certain things with basketball. I guarantee you that Lou Dort can do stuff He's just not allowed to do stuff. He's not
But
asked
Pin,
to do stuff.
that's what I said in the about the 2000s. A lot of those guys could have got busy. It's just not your role to do that. And on top of that, we are running an actual offense. It's not come down and shoot any shot. So you time out. I just want to say this. Do you think it's just coincidence that every time Mike D'Antoni touches the offense, all of a sudden all these players get better and they could just shoot? And all of these guys all of a sudden just become spectacular? So Mike D'Antoni's the only person that got the magic formula and potion. No, what he does is he comes in and he implements an offense that says, hey, you guys have the freedom and the liberty to shoot whatever you want to. You know how good it feels as a basketball player to do whatever you want to do? The teams that Mike D'Antoni coaches aren't the only teams with players that can shoot threes fast and run and gun. No, it is a system that's implemented. When the players have the opportunity to do that, they can do it.
Wait a second. Cart and horse argument. What is the hallmark of a Mike D'Antoni offense? Go ahead.
Running.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Gunning and shooting the first shot that you get.
I don't know. Shooting the first shot you get is bullshit. Number one, you have Ron, if you ran Mike D'Antoni's offense instead of Steve Nash or James Harden, I would get busy. Hey, I would average 18 and 12. And I put that on Chata. Peak delusion on 12. Peak delusion. Hey, you better tell him. Pindo know who he talking to today.
Wait a minute, Ron.
You don't know who you. Hey,
wait.
We got.
And that's on top of the 5 steals I'm average. And when I'm getting steals, we running.
Okay, Ron,
you can expect nothing less from me. He's gonna downplay that because he doesn't know, but that's okay. Let's keep telling the truth.
Yeah, let's take you off the table.
You better go look at my game film. That's right up my alley. That's just my game.
Table for a second,
if a not super processing guard is running a D'Antoni offense, you're not getting the cleanest looks. You're getting turnovers because you're playing at an unprecedented pace. Number one, because those offenses, number one, not only do they launch a lot of threes, they launch a lot of good threes. And those threes are created by a lot of hyper-processing players that have been very much lauded and sometimes given MVPs, for their processing abilities. Because I know James Harden didn't win an MVP and Steve Nash didn't win MVPs for their defense. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you got early offense, which typically means a lot of cross matches. No, it doesn't. Because what you're saying is these guys just learn how to shoot. I'm telling you, they've never had more open shots in their life.
Who was Steve Nash prior to Mike D'Antoni? Now Steve Nash was already
NBA player.
He was an all. Yes, I know. I'm not saying Steve Nash was bad, but he went from all NBA level player to MVP level player. That's a major.
No, real talk. Not an all NBA level. Not an all NBA level player. I was on an all pro team. I didn't go from being
James Harden was already 20.
I didn't go. He didn't go from being. He went from being an all pro to a league MVP, which he won it in back-to-back years, which legitimized him. You don't go from being a 17, 18 a game guy to getting with Mike D'Antoni. And at my peak, I'm averaging 36. That's double what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not that's double what I was doing. You know how hard it is in the NBA to average 15 a game? James Harden was averaging 36, 34. He's doing that. And the reason why he's doing that is because that offense is conducive to his strengths. And that's what Mike D'Antoni does. Mike D'Antoni puts you in his offense and he utilizes your strengths and he goes to them. That's why Chris Duhon was what Chris Duhon was.
Yeah, but chill. See,
Chris
I was on
no way.
I was on the way.
Imagine that.
I'm on the way here and I'm listening to y'all, of course, because I want to be prepared when I get here, right? And so I'm listening and I'm hearing like, oh, playing fast is hard. That's not true. Like playing fast can make the game easier. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, once again, there's not a template to this. You know what I mean? It's like, just because we're going fast don't mean I'm going to turn the ball over more. You know why? Because if I speed it up, I can get the defense on their heels. Less time for the defense to get set. So it's not harder. You know what I'm saying? It's not harder. Especially if we all know what we're doing. Because it's called controlled chaos. I'm speeding up the game, and you might think we're just running. No, he knows where to go. He's filling this lane. I know where my people are going to be. So that actually can make the game much easier. You know what I'm saying? Also, What does that got to do with anything? I don't know. But what I'm saying, also on top of that, it's like there's just so much more to it. Like I think saying that the league is weak or watered down, I think that comes off wrong. I don't think the league is weak at all. I do believe that we're having a lack of the ability just to play basketball. I think we're leaning on like firing up threes instead of trying to find advantages in just playing ball. Like I think that a lot of players, they can do the tween, hezzy this, hezzy that, but that doesn't mean you have a high IQ. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard. It's hard. I think we're having a shift. Like, okay, maybe the IQ might be going down a little bit, but hey, maybe the skill set is going up. I don't know.
Maybe it is going up. The skill is way up.
Why? How come?
Pen, before you
and what does that matter? Like, what does that matter if you don't know what to do with your skill?
Pen, before you answer that, I just gotta let the people know about a great place that they should go to. You see this big, beautiful whale that's splashing on the screen right now? Well, it is courtesy of Splash Sports, where you compete against other fans, not the house. Yes, the link is in the bio. And with that link, you can make your picks on the Survivor for $50K or on a $15K weekly pick'em. You see, the thing about it, you guys, is nobody likes to play against the house. We all like to play with our friends and other people in the community that love to do what you do. And that's watch the game, study the game, download the game, and process the game. And after you do that, you get to use your basketball knowledge to put in great picks that you can use right here on Splash Sports. Fellas, how would it sound to get a pick every week? And every time you get that pick right, you advance to the next round. And as you keep getting them right, you keep advancing. And ultimately, you end up the last one standing. And then you take home $50K.
Ron, I got questions.
I can get with that. I can definitely get with that.
Questions, talk to me.
Yeah, so the Splash Sports thing. The big sell is you going against other people, but not the house. Why do you not want to go against the house? Because I used to hear the house always has an advantage, right?
Yeah.
So it's like poker instead of blackjack.
I get the appeal. How do you download it though?
Well, Penn, it's me against you. I'm banking that my basketball IQ is better than your basketball IQ.
Just a bad bet. That's a bad.
Where do we get this from, Ron? Because to be honest with you, Ron, I'm not really one of these betting dudes, but I'm real interested in this. So where we get it from?
So this is the website right here, and it's real easy and it's simple. Obviously, you see, I just went to the website. I play big contests and I win big money. We all like the sound of that. We all like the thought of that, right? Well, I went here. I could play now, but I'm going to go down to their games. See right here, create real money contests with your friends. Let them take care of the hard stuff, and you legally play for real cash prizes. All right, let's go to their games. They have quick picks, Survivor, Pick'em, Confidence, but I'm going to go to their Survivor because this is where the biggest pot is, $50,000, and this is going to be our best game. And by the way, you have to get into it by this Sunday. This is our NFL Survivor. Basketball will be here soon. We'll get to the Basketball Survivor when the NBA season tips off, but right now, NFL kickoff is this Sunday. So as you can see right here, what we do is we're going to go to play now, or I'm going to go down. How to play right here. So as you can see, for instance, in this picture, they pick the Chiefs. Now you make a pick, you check out the schedule, and you determine your winner for the week. But you only get to choose one team throughout the whole Survivor. After you lose that team, or after you choose that team, you lose them for the rest of the contest. After you pick them, number two, you sweat. You lock in your pick and you sweat out your pick. So as you can see in this picture, let me zoom in. The first week, David picked Philly. The second week, David picked Denver. This week, he's picking the Chiefs. That means he can't pick any more of these teams for week 4 and the remainder of the weeks. Thing about it is the Survivor contest pin, it could last 2 weeks if everybody picks the wrong picks, or it could last all 16 weeks. Basically, the last person standing will be the winner if you outlast everybody, and you will get your cash prize. Now, this is 2.5 million. We aren't that big.
So hang on. I'm not that smart, Ron. So let's say 5 of us, right? All 5 of us, we do this, right? So
Yeah.
I pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. I pick my 16. And let's say I'm right until 4 and y'all are out and it's like just me and Real Talk and we're right up until 5. So it's just me versus him then, and y'all are
Yes.
just out and then we're
Yeah.
competing for the pot, right? Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
And even with that, if you and Real Talk both make it to week 5 and you guys both lose week 5, then you guys will both just get 50 or 25K. You guys will just split the pot.
Okay.
So
I
it's
get
really as simple as that. And that's why we need all of you guys to go download the app, go join the Survivor contest, and let's all have some fun and see who really has the best basketball IQ or NFL IQ and see who will be the last person remaining. Real talk. Go download the app.
So
Kinda
can,
like
can,
what
can one buddy finally compete against Chill in something?
He can't, but technically he can.
Who we talking about?
Your chat.
Anyway,
Somebody
as
named
you
One
were
Slutty
saying,
or
Ron, as you were saying, Ron. So I'm able to download the app. I put some bread in. Once I put some bread in, then I can just start playing immediately. Kind of like this weekend when my 49ers, we go up to Seattle and we're gonna put a belt to that ass.
So chill. Check this out. When you play Survivor this week, you make sure to choose them raggedy ass 49ers. When I play Survivor this week, I'm gonna choose the Super Seahawks, and we'll see who makes it to week 2. How about that?
Yeah. And I'm not really a betting man, but this stuff right here that I've seen, yeah, I'm gonna start getting involved in this. Definitely, I'm gonna put my name in the hat. Yes, I am.
Yeah,
and it looks like it's real simple to use. It doesn't look like it's that difficult to use. It looks like it's real simple to use. So I'm gonna get involved.
It's as simple as download the app, creating a profile, and clicking the link in the bio, and it will take you right to where you need to be. And that's really just that. Ox, you look like you're making your picks right now.
I am. Mind your business.
Oh, my bad. I can't. You have the most superior basketball IQ up here. I can't ask how you feel. Like, what picks you want to make?
That's a fact.
In fact, don't put that out in the public. Just text me.
I'm gonna let y'all rock out. I'm gonna let y'all rock out and
right.
say that. You know what I'm saying? Let y'all have that.
I just know that, you know, what Ron was talking about when it comes to this stuff. I'm betting that the game where it is now, it's going to be. It's not where it was 5 years ago, and 5 years from now, it's going to be in an even different. It's going to be in an even better place, because I think that the game runs in cycles. I think that we are going to see great teams again. And when I say great teams, I mean like what you saw with the Lakers, with Shaq and Kobe, what you saw with the Bulls. I think we're going to see that again. I just think that they're going to be constructed differently than they were, where dudes is just jumping on bomb squads. I think we're going to get back to that, because the NBA has always been in a great place when you have dynasties, because people watch not just for them to win, they watch for them to lose too. 100%.
Chill, we got that already. Chill. I think OKC is putting themselves in a situation to where they can be a dynasty. I mean, they're super young. They play defense. I mean, them dudes are playing defense. Everybody's bought in to Coach Dagenhart. Everybody is bought in. Like when I see them, I don't see anybody that I could point out and be like, he's not having fun. You know what I mean? It's like you got a bunch of dudes that I don't think obviously ego. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And that's what you need to create a dynasty. It's like it's not like New Edition, like how we was talking about before. It's, I don't think anybody's hating on Shea. I don't think anybody's hating on the other person. You know, them dudes look like they're happy for each other. They're playing good basketball. They know who their top dog is. They know who to go to when they need a bucket. J-Dub also has the confidence to be that guy sometimes too. You know what I mean? Chet got a real edge to him. I like what that young squad has right there. And so I don't think we got to wait very long. Chill, they just got one. I can see them getting another one in the next 2 or 3 seasons. I think they're going to be a great team.
I feel like we've been doing this.
Right quick, real talk. Yeah. I just want to play this video from Lamar Odom. This is where all of this has sparked. Based on this video, Lamar Odom breaks down how all of the teams in the NBA run basically the same offense. You guys, let me know if you can hear this.
Let me say this. Let me tell you how stupid NBA teams are.
Y'all can hear it?
Yeah. Come hear this. They give the ball to their best player.
Right.
They put that player in a pick and roll. That player, most of the time, he handles the ball almost to the shot clock is at the end.
Right.
Then he's passing it to a player that's not as good as him, and has to make or take a shot in less time as he had the ball.
Cook
So you give the ball to your best player. He's dribbling the ball in the pick and roll. He's handling it to half the end of the clock, and he's giving it to a player of less caliber,
Right.
to make the play at the end of the shot clock.
Right.
No, that's how mostly all NBA offenses are like that.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you how
Mind that.
stupid.
Chill. Hey, Chill. What's that called, Chill?
You know what they
What is
call
that?
this?
Chill. What?
It's
Chill. What is
Shit,
Chill,
that big
what-
casual ass talking about I don't mind that.
Hold on, Pin. Chill. What is that called? Chill.
A casual.
Thank you.
Okay. No. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what.
Oh,
I'll
are
tell
you
you
talking
what he was.
Thank
Odom?
you.
Are you talking about
Yes,
Lamar Odom?
Lamar Odom. I'll tell you what he.
Oh, you talking about Lamar Odom? What is that? What's that called? That's called.
Ox, we can't hear you. Your mic going in and out.
Oh, I thought that was me tripping.
Am
I
I
thought it was
good?
me too.
No.
Yeah, you
You
good.
good now? Now you good.
Oh, my mic was too far away. Okay, my bad. I'm good.
Yeah,
now.
I don't know, Ox. What
That's
do they call
called. What he just explained is called grenade launching.
Grenade launching.
Ah.
Boof.
Grenade.
Boof.
launch-
Boof.
No,
I literally
That
just said that
happens
to you
that-
yesterday. Didn't I say that to you
Right.
yesterday, Ox? And I was
Right,
like,
and that's
this
why-
what Ox was talking. This is what Ox was telling us a couple of days ago. I mean, a
Yeah, that's
couple of
what I'm
months
talking-
ago about being a grenade launcher.
And obviously. So I think once again, because I do this sometimes where I'll say something and I expect y'all to feel me. He obviously knows every team isn't playing like that, Pin. We know that. But there is
most
a lot of
teams
grenade.
aren't playing like that.
Okay. But there is a lot of grenade launching going on where your best. And I always wondered that, like, why don't you get off the ball, come through, you get the ball back, get some open. You know what I'm saying? J Kidd used to always say, the faster I get off the ball, the faster I get it back. You know what I'm saying? So that's just thinking basketball. I do believe that now they want more often than not, they want their best player to have the ball, right? The best player gets in a situation where, okay, now I'm double, triple team, but there's 3 seconds up on the shot clock. If I kick this to a guy that's inferior to me as far as talent goes, I'm putting them in a shitty situation. And you know what I'm saying? I think that happens a lot. Why can't?
But it's not analytically. And again, Alex, I know you're not, but kicking the ball out to a wide open guy in the corner with 3 seconds left isn't a bad. They don't view that as a bad possession or a bad shot created. We created a wide open three in the corner. Like,
yeah, I think. See, real talk with all due respect, I think a lot of times we see that happening and we think that's what's happening, but sometimes we don't know what we're looking at. I think that it's not. If I kick it to Duncan Robinson and he's wide open in the corner with 3 seconds left, good job. If I kick it to a less of a shooter in the corner and they're not wide open, but they got a guy flying out at them, closing out hard, and there's 2 seconds left, they got to pump fake, take a dribble, shoot the ball. Or that's not the best look. You know what I mean? And that happens a lot.
I agree, which is actually, this goes back a little bit to this every player is so much better now argument, because the same people that make that argument then also concede the point that role players are relegated to basically 2 or 3 shots. You either finna take a spot 3 or you're finna attack a closeout and hopefully get a layup or a dunk. But they're more skilled than ever, but they only take 2 shots. It's a contradicting statement within itself. You can't believe that everybody's so skilled now, but then the average role player has to be relegated to a spot 3 or layup. Those two things don't go together.
Real talk. That goes back to what I was saying a minute ago. Why do I see so much when we do playbacks? And I remember we did one show where I was counting how many times is somebody touching the paint on offense, and I wasn't getting very much. So real talk. I'm saying this. If you're driving over there and I see the shot clock going down and I see that everybody's eyes are on you, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut. I'm going to make it easier for you to find me and make me have an easier shot. I think we have a lack of IQ in the NBA. I think we have a lack of good basketball playing in the NBA. We need more people. And mind you, a lot of teams do it, but there's too many people that don't do it. So that's what I'm saying to your point, real talk. If these role players are so great, why aren't they thinking before it happens? You know what I'm saying? If you got all these great players that make their teammates so much better, why aren't we communicating with the lesser guys like, hey, when I got the ball, cut, get open, move around? Just the question.
I can agree with that, but that's dependent on if my ball dominant player is a heavy pick and roll player, that kind of means I want my big kind of roaming the paint. He's either going to be the roll man or sitting in the dunker spot. So if we cut theoretically, right, we're just cutting into defense because the big man's big man's defender is going to be there, and I would rather leave that for some spacing for my best player to operate and for him to potentially be able to beat his man, get to the basket, and only have one defender left. You know what I'm saying? But I do agree. Cutting is something that should be used more, especially I feel like in more space, cutting is more valuable actually. If you're going to have more space on the court,
it's so wide open. And mind you, I want to say to the chat and to everybody, with this conversation I'm having right now, I'm not necessarily comparing eras as much as I'm saying that if we're at such a high level of basketball today, shouldn't we be doing more things like this? I'm not saying that in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s that everybody was cutting and everybody had great IQ and everybody was just playing the game so great, because I don't believe that. Yeah. And I'm not trying to lead on to that. What I'm saying is, if we're at such a peak place in basketball, shouldn't we all be thinking at a higher level? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
Well, it goes back to
everybody was playing such great ball. That's not.
Well, it goes back to what Penn was just talking about. Penn, you had asked who are the best transition teams in the game. Well, the two best transition teams in the game, the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Coincidentally, who was in the NBA championship last season? The Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Like, they play the fastest, right? But with them playing the fastest, I do think that there's a level of offense that Oklahoma City needs to change, right? They do have a good offense, but they can use some more ball movement. I catch SGA at the top of the key. I catch SGA in the corner, standing and watching sometimes. And that's not because they're going in a different space. That's not because they're running something different. No, that's because that's the way that their offense is. That's the way their offense is constructed, where they run a lot of stuff with him in it. And if you take him out of it, whether he's chasing the basketball and you're denying him the ball, they don't really have anything else to do outside of that. Now, if we're doing something different, like what Lamar Odom was talking about, where we're just pounding the basketball, and then we get down to 10 seconds and we dribble and kick, I mean, that's really predictable. That's not something that I really have to scheme for. But I do think that they are more creative than you give them credit. I don't think
predictable.
Ben respond after, because Ron finna do the what you call.
Oh, nah. We got a few more minutes. And I'm gonna get to that. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that in a second.
Do his job, and you focus on your job. You know?
Real talk. Hey, real
talk. I don't know if you can read or not, but in the chat it did say at 10:40, and we're here.
Hey, real talk. Aren't you in school?
Yeah, I am in school.
Do you try to teach for the teacher?
I do actually.
Shout out Professor Real Talk. Professor Real Talk or Professor RT?
Yeah.
So instead of
Professor RT,
we just yap about you yapping. Okay, cool.
All right. Stay focused.
Do I got a minute? Hey, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah. Penn, I just want to say, like, I know you're pushing back at this, which I understand. Like, you believe what you believe and you feel how you feel. My only thing, Penn, is
why you sound like you're in a cave.
You can't fight the truth, Penn.
Why do you sound like you're in a cave?
Because I am in a cave.
You got some reverb on? Like, what are you doing? You sound
what's the truth, Ron? So Ron, what's the truth, Ron?
The truth is,
you know why you sound like you're in a cave?
The truth is, all they do is set a bunch of ghost screens and pick and rolls. That is 80% of the NBA's offense right now.
No, Ron, because the NBA is it's so, what do they call it? Like, so what they call it? The high level offense that, oh my God, they're doing so much. Like, come on, man. This shit is so Penn, you gotta keep it a buck though. You know how many possessions I'll see Jalen Brunson, SGA, Donovan Mitchell, Luka Doncic, and the list can go on, where they'll set 4 or 5 ghost screens in one possession.
Bro, you could add an Instagram filter. You could add a pop filter. To
try to get that switch. They will set 4 ghost screens just to try to get one switch.
Instead of trying to get a bucket. Instead of mismatch hunting, let's see if we can get a bucket. Let's see if we can get guys open.
I don't see anything wrong with mismatch.
Everyone preaching.
I don't see a
without
problem
the
with that neither.
basketball, move without the basketball, pass the basketball, play hot potato with the basketball. What teams do you think, by the way, Mr. Chilltown Hoops, what do you think is the least frequently passing team in the NBA last year?
The least frequently team, I'm going to say Charlotte.
Probably
Least frequently
OKC.
what?
Oh, I
Frequently
love
what?
this. I love this because
Probably
Wait,
OKC.
pin. Ask the question again. I might know the answer.
least frequently passing team in the NBA, the team that passed the least.
I don't know the answer.
Probably OKC.
That's real talk is actually much closer to the truth, and yet he's sitting in the truth. The truth is Houston Rockets.
Houston.
And chill. I think you pointed to something very interesting because you immediately went to Charlotte because Charlotte is a bad team, and you're like, well, they're bad teams. They probably don't pass. This idea that bad teams don't pass is actually debunked completely. There's a lot of bad teams that pass a lot. The Raptors were the 25th ranked offense, and they passed and moved probably more than anyone in the league. The Oklahoma City Thunder won an NBA championship, and they're bottom 10 in the league in passing.
Bottom 10 in the league in passing as far as the amount of passes from player to player?
Yes, the number of passes made. The Cleveland Cavaliers, who were the number 1 team in the East, are 27th in the league in passing. 28th, I apologize, 28th. The Houston Rockets, who were number 2 in the West, are 30th in the league in passing. It kind of makes you think there's different strokes for different folks, you know? Like, it doesn't really matter to me how much you pass. It matters the quality of the passes being delivered, who's passing, and the kind of spacing you're generating. If you got a great basketball player like a Luka Doncic, frankly, he doesn't have to move as much as a Mikal Bridges or an OG Anunoby because he's a lot more skilled. You will see distance traveled. You will see distance traveled often go up a lot for role players and middling role players. Yes, Derek Lively has to move more than Nikola Jokic. Because Nikola Jokic doesn't do what Derek Lively does, I'm not going to disparage Nikola Jokic for not being more Derek Lively than Derek Lively. Derek Lively has to move to score. He can't shoot 68% from the ranges that Jokic can. So what I'm saying is there's different ways to do this, right? And it's proven that the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Houston Rockets were really great teams last year. The LA Clippers are up there. The Pistons are up there. The Thunder are up there. The Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. These are the least frequently passing teams in the NBA.
Who else was up there, Pin? Because I know you forgot some weak teams too. You do that a lot. Where you like leave.
I do that a lot. Here are the
where were the Celtics ranked? That actually surprised me.
Okay, so let me go from the bottom up. These are the least frequently passing teams, and I'll go right to the most frequently passing teams. How's that?
I want to say, Pin. I want to say I'm with you on this. I don't feel like more passing is good or bad or less passing is good or bad. It's all about situations and who you're passing to. All that. I'm with you. I'm not pushing against. I just want to know. Curious.
Perfect.
More information.
Oh, we lost him. Well, until Penn can get back up here, I want to tell you guys about a place that Penn probably went to. It's called the Gametime app. Now, NBA fans, step aside. NFL fans, I want to talk to you guys specifically because I'm going to give you something that will put you in the game as quick as possible. Have you ever tried to grab tickets and all of a sudden, once you get them, you're on that last screen about to check out, and they add on a $60 fee? Yuck. Well, you don't have to deal with that with the Gametime app, and that's why I've been using it for years. Baseball games, WNBA games. We don't have an NBA team in here in Seattle, but I go to NFL games too. Hey, even sometimes I go to Seattle Sounders games, soccer games. Gametime, quite frankly, just shows you the full price up front, and they don't have no shady surprises at the end. And that's why it is extremely clutch. And that's why I go to it when it gets down to crunch time, because I know exactly what I'm going to get. Specifically, I'll be able to see my seats before I even purchase them. How much clutcher does it get than that? So stop being a procrastinator like somebody out there. I won't say no names. And if you do happen to procrastinate and you need last minute deals, don't even worry about it, because with the Gametime app, the prices go down actually the closer it gets to kickoff. So download the Gametime app right now. Use code CLNS. You see it on the screen. And you'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms may apply, but again, download the app, create an account, use code CLNS, and get in the game. And when you get to the game, make sure you use your Raycon earbuds, baby. Everyday classic earbuds with Raycon. active noise cancellation, multi-point connectivity, which means you could connect to multiple devices at once. I'm connected to my computer and my phone at the same time. And oh, you have up to 32 hours of battery use with these beautiful headphones. You know, it's getting to fall time, which means it's back to school shopping. And that brings me back to my time as a kid. New backpacks, new shoes, new notebooks, new routines. Well, I might not be in school anymore, but I still love that fresh feeling of getting something new. And that's why with the Raycon Everyday Earbuds, it brings me back and I feel just as cool as when I used to go to school. I use them every day. Chill uses them every day. Ox uses them every day. Pin.
Not so much.
Thank you, Chill. But I encourage you guys to click the link in the description box. Go and buy the Raycon earphones, and specifically get these mint green ones up here, or you can get the cool blue ones that I got. Ox has another pair that he likes, but you can go get what you like. You can do this by going to raycon.com/PCS to get 20% off statewide today. That's raycon.com/PCS to get 20% off today.
Nice.
I will be getting me some Raycons.
Got mine.
Definitely.
It is.
Make sure you get the rose gold ones. Man. They're the best.
I got mine in right now. Yes, sir.
Nah, you got to get these blue ones.
The blue one.
That's the way to go.
I got mine in. Penn, you were making a point about the least passing teams. Can we get that list, please? Because I definitely would like to discuss this because I got an idea on what's going on here.
You want me to start at the bottom or the top?
Yeah, those were
least passes. Okay, least passes. Houston Rockets, Dallas Mavericks, Cleveland Cavaliers, LA Clippers, Detroit Pistons, OKC Thunder, Boston Celtics, Milwaukee Bucks, Memphis Grizzlies.
So
these are all playoff or play-in teams.
Right. So if we're starting there, so the Milwaukee Bucks, they had a ball dominant guy in Dame Lillard. They also had another ball dominant guy in another ball dominant guy in Giannis, and it was clunky. Right, we saw that it was clunky, and that was one of their biggest problems. As good as Dame Lillard was, as good as Giannis was, it was clunky. So I can understand why they didn't pass. It just didn't work. Right. On top of that, you did have shooters on the edge, like Taurean Prince, one of the better shooters, one of the better shooters in the league. I think he shot. If he didn't shoot 40% at the long ball line, he shot close to 40% at the long ball line. I don't think that they utilized him in terms of the offense as much as they could have. Right. So playing faster, and I think playing in transition, I think that has a lot to do with moving the ball and passing the ball. Because if you got a guy in Giannis who's just taking the ball off the glass and just going with it, I mean, I like to think that has something to do with passing. Also, same thing with the Oklahoma City Thunder. They create they create a lot of their offense in transition off their defense. So they ain't really passing that much in transition. They just going with it. Right. Now, if you can continue.
Sure.
And also just quick in their half court, because a lot of the teams you're naming also just in their half court setting, like OKC was very reliant on Shea isolation play or Shea pick and roll play at the top of the key. And really their only other consistent shot creator is J-Dub. So that also doesn't surprise me that they're low on the list.
Right. I agree. If you go up the list to continue, Utah Jazz. This is the first instance of a bad team, right? Then you go to Portland Trailblazers, Orlando Magic, New York Knicks, Atlanta Hawks, surprising. Charlotte Hornets, that's a second bad team. Denver Nuggets, the Pelicans, there's another bad team. The Sixers, another bad team. The Kings, the Wolves, the Spurs, the Lakers. So the Lakers have 290 passes made per game.
So are you trying to sell us that less passes means a better offense, or that you win more because you pass less? Is this what you're trying to sell us?
No, your headphones might be bugging.
I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to sell us. What is the point that you're making? The less passes that you make, the better you'll be?
That's not what he's saying, bro.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I'm asking. I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay, so let me just go up the list. I have 10 more names, and then I can tell you what I'm trying to say. Okay, so where'd I leave off? I left up the Spurs. Okay, so the Lakers, right? 290 passes. The Miami Heat. Now we go to the Wizards, who have 292 passes per game. So again, to compare, The Houston Rockets have 262 passes made per game. The Wizards have 292 passes. They pass 30 more times per game. Okay. We are getting to like borderline, like they're passing almost like 0.75 times more per minute. Like it's nuts. Then you get to the Toronto Raptors, the Brooklyn Nets, the Phoenix Suns, the Chicago Bulls. None of those were good teams. I'll be honest. They all missed the playoffs. And then you get to the Indiana Pacers at 330. Now there's a big jump up from Chicago to Indiana by almost 20 passes. The Pacers and the Warriors lead the league in passes, like by far, right? So my point was, you have the two teams that made it to the finals on very opposite sides of the spectrum because they have very different personnel, right? Now, what's interesting is they're both super transition teams, right? So more passes doesn't necessarily equal transition either. What the OKC Thunder lean into is their insane defensive personnel and their scheme, right? They play 6-on-5 basically defensively. They turn you over. They blitz the ball. They recover immensely. They play the passing lanes. They gap the passing lanes. They have enough, a considerable amount of depth, and they run it down your throat off their defense. The Indiana Pacers, they run it off your offense. They have this super processing computer in Tyrese Halliburton, and boom,
ball in bounds and go.
They're doing the same thing in theory, but completely different ways. And that's kind of my point. Like the Phoenix Suns are not a good offense because they pass the ball more than the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Cleveland Cavaliers are not a bad offense because they put the ball in their best players' hands. The truth is, teams like, frankly, Toronto and Brooklyn, they don't have anybody who can do anything with the basketball consistently, so they have to do that. But if you have a Luka or a Harden, you don't have to pass as much. You don't have to cut as much. The point about cutting, cutting without gravity, cutting without space is useless. It's very useless. It's just motion. You're just moving. You're moving. The point of a cut is to move the defense.
Right.
If you don't have anybody who has gravity as a finisher, what does it matter that you're cutting?
When you talk about those teams that aren't passing, like a lot of those teams have a go-to guy and they run their offense through that guy who's their hub. And more times than I, like, for example, Milwaukee. And Giannis does pass. I'm not going to argue that Giannis doesn't pass. Giannis 100% passes. But more times than Giannis is getting downhill and he's getting to the rim. And when Giannis gets to the rim, Giannis isn't getting to the rim to throw the ball out to the long ball line. Giannis isn't getting to the rim and flipping it to a guy on the baseline. Giannis is getting to the rim to score. So of course they're going to be low. They're going to be lower on it. Same thing with the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets, their hub is Sengun. They throw the ball in the post to Sengun. They don't really have a lot of action running off of Sengun. You don't see a lot of ball movement, a lot of cuts. They throw the ball into Sengun. If he's got a mismatch on him, or if he even has a big guy on him, he'll go one-on-one, which is one of the main reasons why their offense isn't conducive. Compound that with the fact that Jalen Green, his shot selection can be a little tricky. So with his shot selection being a little tricky, that also adds to why their offense is inefficient. So I don't think that these teams that you're talking about that are passing the basketball the least, I don't think it's because they're not running good offense. I think it has a lot to do with their hub.
I didn't say they're not running good offense.
He's saying that we were saying that more passing leads to, well, I don't even know. I'm not sure if me and Ox were saying that more passing just automatically leads to better offense.
Definitely not saying
that. But at the same time, it's like
more passing.
Back to the original point though of Lamar saying that the league is watered down. Number one, I don't agree with that. But I also feel like that is to an extent proving his point. It's more about getting the ball to your best players and just letting them create everything all the time, which even back then, there would be more, we're going to pass the ball around. The best player isn't just going to get the ball and then we're immediately into hide, spread, pick and roll action. He's going to pass and then he's going to cut through and he's probably going to set a screen like the triangle offense. Like people did have systems back in the day. And it's also one of these reasons why I kind of disagree with this version of basketball, in my opinion, is I don't like it makes teams very dependent on one player, even more so because Mad Max is in the chat just yapping it up. Yes, we all know that teams have always been playing through their best player. That's not the point. The point is to what degree and to what extent, though. And so when you don't have any action outside of Luka just bringing the ball up and him getting it directly into a pick and roll. Like when he's off the court and then our offense goes to shit, it's because we've been relying on one player to create everything all the time.
Oh, but
And I
real
feel
talk,
like
the
that
offense shouldn't go to
that
shit
happens-
though. The role players are better. Why is Jokic losing his off the court minutes if the role players are better? They should be able to just pick up the slack, right? All 5 of them.
Yes.
Right?
I just have a difficult time with that when he's off the floor. When your best player is off the floor, your team suffers. That's just the way that works. That's
absolutely.
Your team is
gonna suffer.
Yeah, I never understood that. With the Joker minutes when he's off the floor. So what? When your team is off, when your best player is off the floor, your team is not going to be as good. And Penn, to your point, I mean, when the ball is moving and you have a better scheme and you have better talent, the offense is better. The Golden State Warriors were evidence of that when they had Steph, when they had Clay, when they had Dre, when they were in their heyday. When the basketball was moving and you had the action that you had, that offense was a machine. Nobody, and then you add KD to that. KD is getting the same shots that he was getting in Oklahoma City, only he's getting them in Golden State, and he only got one guy hanging on him, as opposed to 2 or 3 guys hanging on him.
But chill, can't we agree on this though? Like, yeah, okay. So if your best player is not on the floor, and your best player is your best player because of the offense that they bring. Because sometimes you have a player that's the best player, like Kevin Garnett, because he has a major defensive. But whatever, we're talking about a guy like Jokic, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, these type of guys who are the offensive hub of their team, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that player is not on the court, yes, I agree that your offense probably isn't as potent, but it shouldn't fall off a cliff. It shouldn't fall off a cliff because we need to be able to run sets. We have a bunch of professional basketball players out here. We all know for a fact 5-on-5 basketball. If we're moving the ball and when you set a screen, that makes for an advantage for the offense. If I'm moving the screen, if I'm cutting through the paint, moving off ball with a purpose. If I'm moving with a purpose, if I'm moving the ball, offense always has the advantage over the defense. If I have professional basketball players who are comfortable everywhere on the floor, we should not have a problem in 24 seconds finding a good look. Obviously, in basketball, we're not going to make every shot. Even in the paint, you're not going to make every shot. But when you have an advantage, because offense always has the advantage. If I have 5 professional basketball players on the court, our offense shouldn't look like, oh, why can't they get a shot? We haven't got a good look in 3 minutes. I haven't scored in 5 minutes. That is crazy, chill. That shows me all these role players, maybe they are better, but are they playing better basketball? Is my point.
Which is a fair statement, Ox. But now what I would counter that with is a lot of these teams, the Denver Nuggets, for example, their offense is built around Joker's skill set. That's why they do what they do in terms of the action, in terms of cutting. And Joker finds guys because they don't stop cutting when Joker's off the floor. They don't stop moving when Joker's off the floor. They still get that same action when he's off the floor. The difference is Joker's reads are way different than DeAndre Jordan. Joker's reads are way different than whomever they have behind him.
Yeah, they don't play the same when Jokic is.
And that's and I was getting to that point right there, real talk, because that's the other part of it. Our offense is built on Joker's skill set. Our offense is built on running it through Shaq. Our offense is built on running out. Our offense is built on our best player's skill set. So when we do that and he's off the floor, 1, we're not getting the same reads. 2, we're not running our thing. We're not running our action the same way because he's not here. So because he's not here, that's why our offense suffers as much as it does. Now, when you have offenses like the triangle, where it's an equal opportunity offense and everybody can get involved in it on every level, where we're not just specifically looking at one thing and we don't have one hub where we got a bunch of different guys who can do that, I think the offense definitely changes. In this particular situation, a team like the Denver Nuggets, who has a guy like Joker, who they rely on heavily for him to find offense for them, even though Jamal Murray is their primary ball handler, they rely heavily on him. When he comes off the floor, their offense suffers.
I can get what they're saying, but again, and somebody in the chat acts like, oh, if you're just gonna pass it around and that's gonna lead to a Kobe midi anyway, like, what's the point of that? I do think like this is when some kind of play experience does matter, because When you ask role players to go stand around and watch somebody play for 3-5 minutes at a time, and they haven't touched the basketball or to at least get it, make a few dribbles and pass or something. Basketball is a rhythm sport. Basketball is nothing but rhythm. Are you in rhythm or out of rhythm? And if you're out of rhythm and you haven't touched the ball in 3 minutes, and then somebody swings the ball to you because you're open, and then everybody just expects you to make that shot because it's an open shot. I haven't touched the ball in 2.5, 3 minutes. I like, why would I make that shot? I'm cold. I haven't touched the ball. So I think it's important, even if it's just pass to get back to the best player. That's still valuable. There's value in that. So that's why, in my opinion, it is good to kind of have at least some formulants of a system to where even if we're getting back to the best player in all actuality, the other players are involved in the game.
There's downside to passing too, right? The more you pass, especially without proper spacing, like, we can talk about spacing. Usually the conversation comes back to shooting, right? Oh, you need shooters to create spacing. Yeah, you do, but that's not really why you create spacing. Like, you create spacing so that cutting, screening, driving is easier. You also have to focus on defensive spacing. So when you have a team like the OKC Thunder and you're just passing to get someone a rhythm or a touch, like, they probably pick it off. Not every player is equally skilled as a passer, and not every pass is made equal. So, to the point of, the Denver Nuggets, they lead the league in assists, but they don't lead the league in passes. So there's something about the quality of a Denver Nugget pass.
And why is that
leads? Because, I'll tell you why. Okay, so everything in basketball comes down to creating a defensive shift or gap or opening or imbalance.
Sounds like an advantage. That's what it sounds like.
Exactly. It is an advantage. Right. Thank you. Right. I apologize. I used 4 words. I could have used one word. Advantage. Advantage. Okay. So we want to create an advantage. So how do we create an advantage for Joker? Well, we could do a 5-1 pick and roll. Get a 1 switched on to him. They scram. They send 3 to the basketball. He swings it to the opposite side. How many passes? Was that? That was 2 passes. That's 2 passes. So I created a wide open shooter in the corner that could be, Michael Porter Jr. or Jamal Murray the last couple of years, which is a good shooter, right? I created that with 2 passes, whereas the Brooklyn Nets could pass the ball 38 times in 1 possession and not create 1 advantage that good, right? The LA Clippers also have a cheat code in Kawhi Leonard and James Harden, right? These 2 guys, they
definitely got a cheat code. You damn right. And we're gonna get to that soon. Hey, Ox, you might want to take that jersey off.
Like, if you
go get a James Harden jersey, maybe Zubac.
There's a stat which measures.
I would never ever turn my back on Kawhi.
There's a stat that measures the percentage that players shoot on your passes, right? And a couple of years ago, I was looking at this stat, and I was looking at for the Raptors specific, and I was expecting, one of the better players on the Raptors to be leading it, like Scotty Barnes or Pascal Siakam. It wasn't those guys. You know who it was? It was Gary Trent Jr. Why? Why did players
pass makes the shot?
Part of it is that. Part of it is because he's such an aggressive scorer that teams actually play him for the shot, so that when he passes, it usually catches the defense off rhythm. They're not expecting a pass. So the gravity of a scorer like a Kawhi. So even if we can argue that Kawhi is not the most talented passer, the quality of his passes is actually great, because when he passes to you, it's probably passing off of a major advantage that he's already created, right? And because he's looking to score all the time, the very fact that he passed means that he probably drew 2 to 3 defenders on the ball. That's the point. A lot of these teams that pass the basketball do not have a single player who can command a double team. They don't have a single player even as good as Brandon Ingram. They don't have a single player as good as Joker. They don't have Giannis. And Giannis's teams don't have to pass as much, because I'll put the ball in Giannis's hands. Why would I want to put the ball in Kyle Kuzma's hands and risk that Giannis doesn't get a shot? Like, am I crazy?
But you don't have to create a double team necessarily. All I got to do is create the help defense. I got it. I think most professional basketball players can typically get past their defender. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. I don't have to have a double team. I could go middle. If I could beat you middle, I'm gonna shift the defense anyway. You know.
But Ox, it's deeper than that though. Kyle Kuzma's job is to control the ball while Giannis gets open. You see, the thing about today's NBA, and I understand that these players are immensely talented. The Jalen Brunsons of this world, Shea, Giannis, Jokic, these guys can get their shots whenever they want to. Mm-hmm. However, there are easier looks that they can get, and we see that with a guy such as Stephen Curry. He gets off the ball so he can get himself open, so when he's on the ball, he gets a better shot and he can shoot it in rhythm. That's why he passes to Draymond and runs around a couple screens, or maybe even goes back door, so Draymond can get him the ball. Draymond's not, and this is why you say what you say about Draymond. He's not necessarily advantage creating. He's letting the screens and the off-ball movement of Steph create the advantages for Steph, and he just puts the ball on the money for him. We've seen that a lot.
Which is very important you know.
Hey, Ox, remember your Kings? Vlade Divac and Chris Webber used to do this all the time. You guys would pass it to one of them in the high post, and guys would cut off of them, and they would merely just. Jokic does it a little bit too. But
Divac was different. Divac was different because Divac would actually put his head down and go to the basket and score the basketball. Divac would snap that mid-range jump shot and keep the defense honest. Draymond does that to some extent. It's not like Draymond is just hitting guys and dink and dunk like a quarterback. No, Draymond is putting his head down and going to the basket. It's just that there's teams who will live with that, and they end up finding themselves when we get late in the game when Draymond goes to the basket, they don't want to live with that anymore. And once they find out that they don't want to live with that, they forget how good Draymond is as a distributor. Now he's finding guys like Steph. Now he's finding guys like Klay Thompson, and it's just opening up the offense even more. So he keeps them honest. He might not keep them as honest as you would like him to do, but he definitely keeps them honest.
I think the NBA has gotten to one player or a couple players dependent offensively. I really do think that, and this is actually why I was rooting heavily for the Pacers to low key. I would have wanted the Pacers to win, and this is also why I was fighting
low key
against.
Real talk? Why low key real talk? Why?
No, because I was very high key fighting against this vastly overrating of Tyrese Halliburton, because if it could have been a beautiful story. Here's a team with maybe not a top 10 to 15, arguably 20 player on the roster, but what they've done is they've created a ecosystem, Rick Carlisle down there, that allows everybody to play basketball, right? We aren't overly reliant on one player to that extent. Tyrese Halliburton does create a lot of advantages, obviously, but you got Andrew Nembhard, who can attack a closeout, who can run pick and roll, and Rick Carlisle also allows him to play in the mid-range. You have TJ McConnell, who can do all of those same things, and again, plays in the mid-range. Pascal Siakam can run, play, finish, play in the mid-range. Like, they had a group of good basketball players to where they weren't overly reliant on one player. And so that offense was very elite. I think that is more of a game plan than to be like, because when you play a team and you're overly reliant on one player and one player's action, like Dallas was against the Celtics last year in the finals, and if the Celtics figure out Luka's PNR game, we're shit out of luck. We can't really. We can't do anything. I also think this is a great thing that Boston did, and I thought they were going to be the next dynasty because all 4 or 5 players can play basketball. Or we're not just, Tatum, here's the ball, and you have to create everything. Jaylen Brown can create. Derek White can create. Tatum, obviously. Drew Holiday, if he wanted to in a post-up or whatever, and he could definitely still run pick and roll, actually.
But real talk, what happened?
Well, they are so analytically driven where they just 3. But
to your point,
not what they're doing.
But to your point, real talk,
it's not what they're doing.
They're not trying to just take threes without purpose.
I know they create them, but
number one, that, and number two, while I disagree fundamentally with the idea that, this is how you can play basketball, because I think it's really robbing us of a really great star in Jason Tatum playing better brand of basketball. I think their purpose is to create open driving lanes. They space you out so they can drive. They space you out so their 2 best players can create advantages at the rim.
Celtics?
Every
so why aren't they creating the advantages?
They're not. That's
Okay.
not true, Penn.
Cool.
They're at the bottom. Penn, they're at the bottom of the league in points at the bucket. They're at the bottom of the league. They don't
Penn,
score at the rim.
Jason Tatum can get to the rim whenever he wants to.
Whenever he
Jaylen
wants.
Brown can get to the rim whenever he wants to.
Okay.
Derek White can get a lot of straight line drives whenever he wants to. Drew Holiday can get his feet in the key whenever he wants to. Peyton Pritchard can get to the rim at will, and he's really the only one who really does it. They don't do that.
Sure.
It's basketball. They just want to see how many threes they can shoot, and because mathematically,
They
Well,
don't want
you know,
contested shots at the rim. They think that an open three is worth more than a contested two, which I think the math would say it probably is. But
yeah, the math would say that, but the math don't know shit about basketball.
the math knows a little bit about basketball.
No,
It's like
no,
I'm not saying lean fully into analytics and completely
you don't think
blindly
the data
rob
matters?
yourself of the ability to.
You don't think the
I
data
think
matters?
yeah, but chill. See, that's not what you're asking me. Yes, data matters, but we
That's the
can't
math.
play basketball. We can't play basketball on a calculator though. Chill. That's
We can't
why
play
I've been
it
saying
solely
that.
on
I've been
that.
saying that
No,
forever.
we
You can't play it on a calculator at all. The only time you can play it on a calculator is when, you know what I'm saying, it's late game situations, and you know what I'm saying, like you can play it like math numbers like that. Like, okay, like, you know, sometimes you gotta foul. You gotta do the foul thing, shoot free throws, hope they miss the free throws. Mathematically, we can come back right here. It's a 2-possession ball game, a 3-possession ball game. I know I gotta hit a three, I gotta get a stop, we gotta score fast, I gotta get my first available bucket. That's when the math comes in.
Right. But
Okay.
it also
That's
comes
when the
You
math
can't
comes in.
build
but
a
as far
house
as- but as
with a
far as-
calculator, but it helps to use a calculator once in a while. It helps to use
does,
these things.
We're not
It
talking about
100%
building no house. We're talking about basketball. See, analogies are cool sometimes, but some, you know, that shit don't make no sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Can you make an
I have-
analogy on a calculator?
No.
Let me see.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand
get
what you're saying. Of course, I know you can't build a house with you know what I'm saying, having the basin when you do the foundation. It has to be a certain amount of a certain depth and all that, depending on how high you want to get. You know, I understand all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I know how that works. But this ain't house building. This is basketball. This is something different. There is no way you can't. I can't look at it like I can't be in the war room getting ready for a game. Like, you know what? We got to shoot 7. We got to shoot 23s today. You know, in this half, because if we shoot 20, and let's say
that's not what's happening.
No, we're doing that.
I'm not saying I am saying that because a lot of that is going on. Because I know for a fact, because I've heard Penn, Swiper, and Moore say that you can't win today unless you shoot this many threes. You know what I'm saying? You have to shoot this many threes to be able to compete.
I mean, that's
whoa.
That is true.
I disagree. I disagree.
You have never heard me
I
say
disagree.
It's
you
not.
have to play one way. No, I'm not saying you have to play one way. I am, however, saying that if you're going to take a 21-foot jump shot, yeah, maybe take a step back. That's all I'm going to say. Maybe take a step back. It is.
I can get with that though, Penn. I really like you. I understand that part. You guys have actually explained that quite clearly, and it makes a lot of sense. If I'm going to shoot,
Don't make no sense.
I'm gonna tell you why it makes sense. If I'm gonna shoot the ball with my heels on the line, I might as well make it a concerted effort to just take one step back. Now, I'm not saying don't do it and throw yourself out of rhythm, but if you're going to spot up, don't purposely spot up right in front of the three-point line. Take a step back.
Okay, see, but that's what I'm saying. It's circumstantial, right? It's circumstantial. If Luka Doncic, back when he was over there, he's here now. He's in California now. So let's say he's doing that, and I'm Austin Reeves. If he's dribbling over there, and I find myself standing right there at the 3-point line, well, let me take a quick step back for sure. Let me make sure I'm back here. Let me because that's even more spacing. Let me get deep into the corner. Let me make sure I got the defense has to cover more space, and I can knock this shot down. So yes, 100%. Me standing 19 feet away, that's bad. Let me get behind the 3. I'm with you on that. But when I'm not with you on.
That's not.
Well, yeah,
but
you know what I'm saying. I'll just say the number, but you know what I mean.
I'm following you.
But if I'm just in the flow of the offense and I got an open look and I find myself a foot in front of the 3-point line, I'm not gonna not shoot this shot. I'm gonna shoot the ball. I don't want any of my players on the team thinking like, you know what? Let me. No, here, take it. Let me get reset and step back. Shoot the ball.
Look,
well, and you hear so many people saying like that's a bad shot. Stop telling people that's a bad shot.
Here's the thing that I'm asking though, because you say that we're not playing because I want to make sure that I'm following you, Real Talk, because Real Talk, you brought up a really interesting point about how the game is being played. Ox, when I am covering a guy, and I know for a fact, not necessarily just on the right wing, I know you can't shoot past 12 feet. I know that for a fact, especially if I got a hand in your face. I know that for a fact. So what I'm doing in my mind mentally, I got a calculator. Okay, he missed one. He missed two. He's got to make one before I actually close out. He's got to make one before. Line? Not even, no. Anywhere on the floor where he's shooting the basketball. He's got to make one before I close out. He's got to make one before I crowd him. And the reason why is because I'm doing in my head. I know you can't shoot from right there. I know that you shot 3 of them already. You can shoot 4 of them. You can shoot 5 of them. You can keep shooting. I know this big man on this box, Ox. I know he can't shoot with his left hand. And I've seen him shoot left hooks with his left hand. And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, as a big guy, that's where I'm turning him. And I want him to shoot as many of those possible with his left hand. Those are the numbers that we're going over, right? That's the basketball that I'm trying to go over.
That's not basketball.
I'm just using all what I'm doing is instead of using a calculator physically, I'm doing it in my head.
You know
what's basketball? I'm fine with that too. That's just good defense.
You know what's basketball? Feeding the ball to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's basketball. You know why that's basketball? You know why? For the first 30, you know why for the first 40, 50 years of this sport, teams kept putting the ball right in front of the rim and giving it to their tallest player? That's math. Because the tallest player has the best angle and easiest angle.
Once again, I know you get triggered by certain words. I want you to understand.
I'm not triggered by shit. I'm trying to tell you that basketball has existed since before you were alive.
No, it doesn't, because you don't. That's my word. You can't tell me what the hell it is. I'm telling you what basketball is. Okay, so when you hear that shit and you get triggered and you just block out everything. I didn't say that stats are bad. I didn't say numbers were bad. I said when you manipulate numbers for the sake of not knowing basketball, that is basketball. When you try to go into
loudly,
when you try to go into a conversation and or a basketball game and you think that I have to do this because of these numbers. I have to shoot this. That's basketball.
You know,
numbers there is a time and place for everything. Stop using words that I came up with and trying to flip it into something I never said. I never said L stats. I never said L numbers. I said L basketball. That's what I said. Basketball. Basketball is when you manipulate numbers for the sake of not understanding basketball. That's it. So don't stop trying to draw that shit like, oh, Ox can't do math. Ox doesn't know 2 + 2. Ox doesn't like numbers. No.
No. That's not me talking. That's your conscience talking.
There was a time and place. There's a time and place for everything. There's a time and place for everything. Okay, stats are important. Numbers are important. But telling somebody that you can't win a basketball game if you don't shoot this many threes because 3 points is more than 2 points. That's basketball. We can play ball. We can get to the rim. We can play ball.
That's just straight math. You think you invented 3 is more than 2?
Even what you just
said.
Yes,
thanks, man. I think I invented 3 is more than 2.
This is the reality of the situation, because we can't look at 3-point attempts and be like, oh, because everybody's shooting a lot of threes, they're doing it the same way.
I don't think they are. Real talk. I didn't say
right. That. Okay, so this is what I'm saying, Ox. The fact of the matter is that you want to have more, and this is just the truth. At the rate that most teams, as we progress year to year, are shooting more threes, there is a number that you need to shoot because Ox, 3 is worth more than 2. Like at a certain point, we just have to score as many points as the other team.
And that's 2 is worth more than 1.3.
And as much basketball, I was to really as much say that. No, to Real Talk's point, Ox, as much basketball as we playing, the 1987 Lakers aren't beating the Golden State Warriors shooting 2 threes a game. They're not doing it.
The goal
They're
of
not.
basketball
Says you.
since
No,
the
that's
dawn
not
of
says
time.
me. They're not
I
doing
think
that.
Naismith invented the game.
2001. I think the 2001
Okay.
Lakers absolutely beat the shit out of the Warriors.
Okay, look.
Not
ever
shooting
since-
2 threes a game. They're not. Not
ever
happening.
Mop
They
them.
gotta
Hey,
shoot
they
more
got
than
They
that.
they got
mop
Shaquille
them.
They
O'Neal. They
gotta
got
shoot
Shaquille
more than
O'Neal.
that. They do
Ever
have Shaq.
since-
I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
but
And
okay,
Shaq is a
Ox,
big
if
deal.
you have
I'm
if you
sorry.
have
2 threes a
if
game,
you
3
have
threes a game. That's not
arguably
enough.
if you have
Says y'all, I
arguably
disagree.
if you have arguably the best 2-point scorer ever, then yes, your efficiency, because you have to hit what, like 50% of your twos equate what, 33% on 3 or something like that. So if
If
Shaq
you make the
is,
same amount,
if we play Shaq, if you're playing with Shaq and Shaq can make 70% of his 2-point shots today, then yes, you don't have to take as many threes. Unfortunately, Ox, there's a one Shaq. It's not hella Shaqs
I don't need
walking
3 Shaqs.
around. It's one Shaq. It's one Jokic. It's one Giannis.
Yep.
Everybody
Look,
else
I
are
understand what
hitting
you guys are
twos
saying.
at that clip.
I
They just aren't.
understand what y'all are doing
What do you
because
think Shaq shot on twos?
contrary to popular belief,
I'm saying
real
what he
talk,
would do today.
I'm actually pretty decent at math. I understand what you're saying.
I'm sure you
just
think that.
disagree. I just disagree.
Yeah,
I just
fair enough.
disagree.
The reason why I'm saying that, I don't think this is, by the way, Ox, this isn't Ox,
You
this
call me a
isn't to
hoe?
discredit. This isn't to discredit Shaq, right? This is
Just
not
Shaq, right?
this is not to discredit Shaq, because again, I think Shaq would dominate in a series playing against the Golden State Warriors. I think he would destroy their front line. I don't think that they would have a chance against him. However, there are things to neutralize him, right? There are things to slow him down, like fouling him, like putting him in pick and roll, stuff like that.
There's ways to neutralize 3-point shooting too, like stopping the ball early, getting our
Yes,
defense early. There's ways to
100%.
neutralize everything. It's
Yes, it
basketball,
is.
chill.
But
There's a way to beat everything.
right. But with that being said, with the Golden State Warriors, I think that the Lakers could beat them, but they can't do it shooting this little amount. They don't have to shoot as many as the Golden State Warriors. I'm not saying that. We don't have to play their game we don't have to play their brand of basketball. No, I'm not saying that. But we got to play on the long ball line if we're gonna have a chance. Because as good as Shaq is,
Shaq is going to break that team. He is going
Y'all
to
realize
literally
Shaq is the one that's
break
going
the
to create
team.
all the threes.
he is the one. That's why
Shaq
they're
is
gonna be
going to
so
be
wide
the
open at
reason
the
why
long
they
ball
shoot
line.
more threes.
No, I'm
Why?
not saying
Why?
Real talk. I'm not saying
Because he can't guard out there.
No, but
He's going to be the one creating the
because
three.
he garners so much attention in the post, and how he's going to get doubled and tripled. Okay, he's going to score baskets, but if we're trading threes for twos, because you're not going to be able to stop these dudes consistent with their offense, you're not going to be able to consistently stop
they're
them.
not making threes every possession.
And
They're
Shaq is
not
scoring every possession. That's not happening.
You're right.
And Shaq is not scoring it. But the amount of times that Shaq scores, as opposed to the amount of times they make threes.
How long does Draymond Green play before he's in foul trouble? You know what I'm saying? Without Draymond, all those looks you was talking about, those created, that goes out the window. So they can't even play the same. So that's what I'm saying. They can't play the same. They can't play the same. You know, I don't understand what's the big deal. Like, why can't we agree that there's different ways to play basketball?
Oh,
no,
we agree with that.
Definitely agree with that.
But
we definitely
the conclusion of really what I'm saying is, I agree that different teams play differently. I don't agree with Lamar Odom that everybody's around here playing the same.
No,
however, there is, but the disconnect between like me and you, Ox, is that there's like a summarization of this era that everybody's just coming down jacking threes. But in my opinion, no. Now this era is shooting more threes, absolutely. But they're created so differently. How OKC creates their threes is way different from how Indiana creates their threes, who's way different from how Denver creates their threes, which is way different than how Golden State creates their threes. So everybody's not playing the same. But in an era where you have more spacing on the court, and so you have to help and recover further away, that just naturally creates more 3-point opportunities.
But real talk, I'm with you on that. Real talk. I don't think everybody's playing the same. And I think I said that maybe before you got up here. I don't agree that everybody's playing the same way. Mm-hmm. I dislike when I watch a basketball team have a wide open a wide open layup, and chill. We've been on playback and we've watched so many times where a guy will get to the rim, get a bucket, and have a layup. Instead, they jump in the air, throw it out, and they do the same shit all over again.
But Ox, that's
accidental basketball Kobe Bryant was talking about.
Ox, that's the point I'm making, though. Just right quick, bro. That's the point I'm making. Real talk about they not all playing the same. Real talk. It's a means to an end. They're all just trying to get that three. Hey, real talk. Somebody might bake chicken. The other person might fry chicken. That person might, he might boil chicken. This person might bake chicken. Hey, Ox, that's what the Hornets do. They boiling chicken. It's still chicken. They still cooking chicken. It's the same thing. Everybody is trying to get that punk ass three.
They're chicken is a lot more healthy.
They are all trying to get a three.
You know what offenses today are trying to create? They're trying to create an open layup. Trying to create an open layup creates a three, because when I put pressure on the rim and the defense collapses, then the three is open. They're trying to generate an open layup.
They're not trying to generate an open layup. They're trying to generate an open three, and they do that by driving and kicking. They drive in there.
Just generating an open layup, Ron. What are you doing?
Why aren't they getting the layups?
They collapse. You kick the
because
ball
the defense is collapsing and they're throwing the ball out. They're just not taking the layup, Ron.
They're just not taking the layup. Is trying to get a layup.
And also, passing up open layups, please.
The Boston Celtics.
They're not passing up open layups. They're not
regularly
passing up open layups. They're not regularly passing up open layups. Let's not be stupid now. Let's not be crazy now. Let's not lie now about what the Celtics are doing.
We're not lying, Penn. The Celtics do it all the time.
They're passing up open layups. Hang on,
yes,
open, wide open layups.
I watched Jason Tatum go to the rim. He could have scored an open layup, and he's thrown the ball out to Drew Holiday. I've seen
a wide open
Jaylen
three.
Brown. Even if it's for a wide open three. Yes.
Well, then that's a bad play. That's a bad play. You seeing it happen a couple times doesn't mean that that's what they're trying to do, and doesn't mean that that's what Joe Mazzulla is supporting.
Why are they at the bottom of the league in points in the paint? Explain that. Why
because they have a considerable amount of great three-point shooters, right? And they have two players who can consistently get into the paint, collapse the defense, and create wide open threes. Now, if I have to compete, like, look, this concept of math, whatever, there's some sort of aversion towards math or disdain for math on this platform that stems from you saying basketball, frankly, and it extends down to people thinking people use analytics to, Jordan saying that stuff the other day about like people using analytics to have a seat at the table that they don't otherwise deserve. Here's the thing, though he's wrong, and shout outs to Jordan, that's my guy, but he's wrong. Here's the thing, I think that if I could go back to 1960 and tell you that I can get you a way to score 100 points and hold your opponent to 80, you're going to take it.
Bill Russell going to kick you out his gym.
No.
He going to say, take that goddamn stupid Puma hat off and get the hell out my gym. That's what he going to say.
First you disrespecting chicken, now you disrespecting the GOAT. Come on, man.
What I'm saying, Ron, is even before that, because we had this conversation before. And mind you, I think one of y'all said this. When I was listening on my way here. Like there's been even today, there's a lot of role players that are really, really good, but they have to play in that role. You know what I'm saying? And that's true today, and that was true yesterday. That was true the day before. My thing was, I can't remember who I was using as an example, but there's a lot of players back in the early 2000s, late 90s that could shoot deep threes and could do certain things, but they had big men in the paint that'll kick their ass in the locker room if you don't drop it down to me on the block when I'm giving you a target.
Why does the ball keep going into the post? Why?
Now, why is it going? Because that was just the style. That was the style.
No, that was not about the style. It was not.
No, it is about the style because before when basketball was first,
it was more efficient. It was proven to win.
It's proven to win because of who it is. When you start the NBA, you got dudes like George Mikan. And George Mikan is down there hitting knees. You're gonna keep giving the big fella the ball because he's 6-something in the rims right there. I'm 5. Like, for instance, Penn, if me and you was on the court together back in the 60s, you're going to give me the ball because I'm right there with it. You know what I'm saying?
I got news for you. If me and you are on the court tomorrow, I'm going to give you the ball.
I know, Penn. I understand, Penn, but just please hear me out. I get what you guys are saying.
You talked, he yapped, he screamed about chicken, and then now it's back to you. How do we get there?
Damn, we yapping in circles.
We don't want to
First
fall
off,
it's a
asleep
yapper
again,
circle.
Ken. Just like
I
how
spit
Few was
nothing
putting
but
Fluent to
facts,
sleep the other
nothing.
day. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. Stop going backwards. Keep moving forward, bro. Forward progress. And that's what's happening today. Forward progress. Am I correct? I think nowadays they're allowing players. They're allowing players to do things like what you said. You said that Charles Barkley and Shaq are like, get down there, because back in the day it was about using physical advantages. I got a big force down there. We're gonna drop it down to him and let him go to work. Nowadays it's like, well, we're teaching bigs at a younger age how to dribble, how to shoot. So now they're allowing these dudes to shoot. But it's like
for 40 years.
But
Ox.
it's like this though. When I'm
How
saying,
do you think Vlade Divac learned how to play basketball? How do you think Dirk Nowitzki learned how to play basketball?
Or
How do you
Arvydas
think Arvydas
Sabonis.
Sabonis learned how to play basketball?
And I
They
understand
learn
that, and
outside in.
that's what
They are
I'm
adopting
saying.
the European
That's- but
influence
that's-
on the
that's-
game is maybe
Okay,
changing
but
how y'all want to play basketball.
What I'm saying, Pin, is how come that's better? Neither one is necessarily better. It's just a style of play. It's just a different style.
This is not a matter of style, Ox. It's a matter of math. I'm sorry to tell you, but the reason I'm giving it down to Moses Malone is because Moses Malone might be a little bit more efficient, although he's not as efficient as Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal shooting 58%
What
on
I'm
twos
saying,
is a really
what I'm
freaking
saying
efficient-
is that so you're telling me that if you got Jokic out there, you would rather have Jokic having the ball outside or whatever person. Doesn't have to be Jokic, anybody.
No.
You would rather have this player out here that's 7 feet tall trying to shoot fadeaways at the nail or shooting threes than dump it down in the Shaq. Like that's what I'm saying. When
court reporter, when did I say that?
Oh my God, bro. Never mind, bro. Never mind.
Yes.
I'm not really trying. This isn't about me versus you. This is me simply saying that there has been different styles of play. Now you can do the math thing. That's cool. I don't have a problem with that. What I'm trying to say is that Shaq,
I don't really think y'all are disagreeing, really.
The Sacramento Kings. Yo, I'm just trying to say this, man. The Sacramento Kings play the Sacramento Kings, the team that you probably loved when you were growing up with Weber and Divac and Peja and Hidu. Even the Duncan Spurs. I find this so interesting and so weird that you are such a big Tim Duncan fan. And to me, those teams played completely differently than how the rest of the league played. They weren't isolation. Why? But why were they not isolating? Because they did their own calculus and they decided.
That's good ball. Okay. That's good ball. You try just because
and the definition of good changes when the math changes. What I'm trying to tell you is that
style changes.
Why do
why does the style change?
The style changes because the calculus changes.
No,
because you can be fashionable if you lose every game. I don't care how you play.
The style changes because of the player and what the players can do.
And what kind of players
people copy winners?
If Tim Duncan didn't have the abilities that he had, the passing abilities, the mid-range abilities, the strength, the touch. If he didn't have those abilities, they wouldn't do that. No matter what the math says, if you don't have somebody that has the ability to do this, you can't change the style.
Why did the Spurs play with multiple?
Hold on, Pin. I'm talking to chill, Pin.
Keep going.
Relax, brother. If
you keep telling me to relax and you keep cutting me off like I'm a 5-year-old, I'm kind of getting sick and tired of it.
Well, what you gonna do about it?
Well, we're talking through a screen.
As you were saying,
if Shaquille O'Neal could do the same things that Tim Duncan could do, I'm sure that they would have changed up the offense a little bit. Not because the math says so, but because of the skill set. What are your capabilities? Channing Frye. When Channing Frye used to be there, remember he was knocking down those 3 balls from the top of the key. You know what I'm saying? If Channing Frye was a big bruiser like Shaquille O'Neal, they would probably be like, "Hey, big fella, get down on the block. Let's give it to you a couple times." So that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, sometimes the math lines up with the skill set. You can't force somebody to do something that they don't have the means to do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would love to see Ron Harper or Dennis Rodman coming into a practice being like, you know what, that Michael Jordan guy, he's pretty good, but give me the ball. And Phil Jackson be like, sit your ass down.
I never said that, but that's
percent on turnarounds. My point is math has always been a part of this. It's always been a part of it. Okay. The reason you fed it into the post, the reason you ran, the reason you didn't run, the reason you passed more, everything comes back to the same thing. The ultimate math is very simple. there's a lot of math that's already baked into basketball.
Right.
How high the
Yes,
rim is,
because-
how far the 3-point
I
line
mean,
is
the
to
fact
the
that it
rim,
just keeps
the
score is
diameter of the
math.
court, the
Not
dimensions of the
Yes,
court,
and that's
the
a
length
good
of the
thing. Real
court,
talk.
all of these
W
things matter.
math.
Let
I'm
me
with that.
tell you something. Why do they keep saying WNBA got to drop the rims? To change the math. The math being how far the players are from the rim, right? A lot of people look. A lot of
No,
critics
that's not why they're saying that.
Yes, they can.
They're
dunk.
saying it because they want to
they're
make the
doing
game more entertaining.
No.
That's not why they're saying that.
Exactly. No, Ron, they're doing
Same
it for the casuals. They're doing that for the casuals. For the motherfuckers that grew up playing 2K. They're doing it because they want to see people dunk.
When
the
you
basketball.
train,
Because
when
2
you
point-
train
because
a
2 point-
5-year-old to play
because
basketball,
2
you give
points-
him a regular size basketball
Ron, because 2 points.
Yes.
Yes.
because you're crazy. That's why you do it. Because you're crazy and you don't know what
my
you're doing.
son was 8 years
I don't know
old.
what I'm doing.
Hold on,
You
hold
don't.
on, Pin.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Ron,
don't know
please
what you're
chill,
doing.
Ron, because I want to
Hey,
ask
Pin, I got 40,000 hours in this shit. I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing.
Ron, listen,
You would
Ron,
hand a
listen.
Tried and true.
Ron,
5-year-old.
because look, Ron,
You're
the
wrong.
thing is, just like that, my coaches, my son's coach had the audacity to come talk to me about the ball because I'm like, bro, you don't know, you're a history teacher, bro. I do this shit. My son, I need my son to learn that when he's dribbling, he got to dribble hard. So yeah, I took a little air out the ball and he used a men's ball and we dribbling, getting his handles right. Now he's a much better dribbler because Pin, I know what I'm doing.
Pin, you do know
No,
NBA players use weighted balls.
Yes,
Why
I know
would they
that.
use a weighted ball? Real talk, relax, focus. Tell them chill. You tell me, tell Real Talk to focus.
Why would I use
Hey,
a heavy
why
ball?
would you? Yes, why would you use a heavy ball?
There's a lot of reasons to use a heavy ball. Number one, it makes you a better ball handler. Number two,
Oh, so if I wait, don't even go no further. So why would you give a kid a ball that's bigger and heavier?
because you're dumb.
All right.
Wait a minute.
No, chill. It's all good. It's all good. No, we gotta get to super chats.
No,
We
hang
gotta
on.
get to super chats. No, Pin, I don't want to hear no more. We gotta get to super chats. Yo, salute to everybody
shit about
that's
basketball.
here. It has been a
I
good
don't
show.
care how many people you talk to.
Pin, we changing the page.
I don't care
to a
how many
different script.
trainers you talk to. You don't know nothing about what you talk
We
about.
get-
I don't know
we-
nothing about
No,
basketball.
not shit.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
That was great.
Can I?
Because you're
Ron,
dumb. That's
I-
why. Because you're dumb.
Ox
Super
and
chat,
Pin.
super chat,
Because you're dumb.
super
Ox and Pin. It's okay. We all have different philosophies. But what we're gonna do now is, first off, salute to everybody that's in here. Everybody on Twitter, everybody on Facebook, everybody on whatever platform you're on. Make sure you follow us on all platforms. Like the video on YouTube. Come over to YouTube and subscribe. And ultimately, just keep doing what you're doing in the chat. If you have sent through a super chat, we're gonna get to this right here, right now. Before we do that, though, I want to go to a little blast from the past. A good time we had in Seattle a couple years back. Chill, you remember this? Let me zoom in.
Our first PC weekend. That was so dope. We was out in Seattle. And I had been to Seattle before, but man, we had a
Whew, you
dope
see
time
what I
out
see.
there, yo. Yo, we had a
Look at
dope
some of the
time
good
out
guys. Check out Mars back when he had a
Oh,
when he had drip.
Yo,
Look
H
at Dub.
Boogie.
Check out H Boogie.
Hey, Rob.
H Boogie. Yo.
Check out Lil Rob. JD in the house. Obviously, you see
JD,
Chill, you see Big
boy.
Ox, you see me, and look at that guy right there. Low down in the house. Chill.
Oh, down in the house. Look at Dub. Hey, look at Dub Zero.
Hey, check out Bama too. It was good times.
Man, we had a good time. That was
Good
so
times
dope.
like JJ and them.
So dope.
All right, y'all. Before we get into these super chats, I do just want to let you guys know about a couple things that's coming up. Obviously, you know, every Thursday is a throwback Thursday throughout the summer, and tomorrow is no different. At 7 p.m. Eastern time, we will be on playback, watching two GOAT point guards go against each other. Tomorrow will dispel a lot of narratives, so you don't want to pull up. Hey, and just to put it out there, they're two lighter complexion point guards too. Can't wait to see this. Hey, we'll really see who's top 5 and who's not. Also, the PCL is coming up soon. You can see on the graphic, it's not Friday the 15th. It's actually Friday, September 12th. We will be doing a draft, and we'll announce the captains here very soon. There will be 16 members that will get drafted to 4 teams by the 4 captains, and then we'll get into a King of the Court style play. If you don't know what King of the Court is, just go to YouTube, type in the panel or player's choice, and then type in King of the Court, and you'll be able to see a nice little blast from the past. Speaking of Low, speaking of Ticket, speaking of all those other guys that used to be here, Dub, Fluid, you can go watch us all compete in a King of the Court style debate. Go check it out.
By the way.
Ron, if I promise not to use the word dumb, can I explain in 1 minute or less why you would never want to give a 5-year-old a regular size basketball?
You
Under
Pin,
a minute.
Pin, you could get 2 minutes, but you got to actually use the word dumb.
Okay, so here's the thing. A 5-year-old has very small hands. In order to compensate for the size of the basketball, they're going to naturally develop a very bad motion of shooting the basketball, which is they're going to flick it out. And they're going to develop this thing of trying to not use their guide hand as a guide hand, but rather they are going to be using both hands to compensate for their lack of strength. This is going to build up the wrong mechanics of shooting, and it's going to force them to, instead of shooting like this, they're going to shoot out. And this is going to continue and continue until a coach has to come in and reverse all the damage that you're creating. Sometimes we see a lot of players who pick up basketball later, and people are always shocked, like, oh my God, Larry Sanders picked a basketball when he was 15. Hakeem Olajuwon picked a basketball when he was late. Yeah, there's an advantage to picking up basketball later because not only did they play other sports, which helped them with basketball, like soccer, volleyball, etc., but now they don't have any of the bad habits that kids pick up when they're younger. Yes, you can use a heavy ball when you're older. Yes, you can. It makes you a better ball handler. It definitely makes you, it could absolutely improve your physique and your shooting and all that stuff. I've talked to a ton of trainers, some of the best trainers in the world about this. This is my deep focus and my fascination. I don't care if you're a better basketball player than me. You do not know more about basketball training than me. I'll say that 100%. So do not.
How many people have you trained?
How
many people have you trained?
I'm not training anybody.
Damn that shot clock. Damn that shot clock. How many people have you actually trained? Not how many trainers have you talked to?
I have trained 0 people, but I am a better shooter than you.
Okay, great.
Because I've trained myself.
I bet you are, man. Anyway,
we talked about this yesterday. I told you I perfected my jump shot. Come on, man.
What I'm saying. See, I didn't say that I ever have kids shoot with heavier balls. I simply said dribbling with a ball that has a little less air in it and it's heavier. Why is that, Ben? Because I don't want kids to think that you just drop the ball and it comes back to you. No, you have to dribble the ball violently, push the ball, make the ball come back to where you are. That's what I said. You know what I'm saying? So next time you think you can cook somebody, listen first. Listen. I would never have kids that age. I'm not even tripping off shooting at that age. Because most kids aren't, they're not that strong. They're going to get so much stronger. You can't have a kid's perfect form like this when they're 5, 6 years old, because they're not even strong enough to get the ball all the way up there. So with that being said, I was talking about dribbling the basketball. Most kids, you know what I'm saying? Like at that age, the better kids are the kids that are able to dribble better, that are able to get where they're going. I'm working on that part of the game.
That's why you work on a lower rim when they're
younger.
No. I don't need because you're trying to create the same dimensions and the same proportions.
Once again, Pin, I don't need no tips. I know what I'm doing. I got all that. What I'm saying is this. You know what you should do, Pin? You should probably go try to train somebody, and you figure out, and then you let me know how that works, okay?
I don't have time to train people, but I have been offered.
Okay, so stop.
I have been offered.
Stop talking. Do you know how many? Talking about what you don't know about, bro.
You're talking. Like, here's the thing, man. You are insecure.
Ron, kick the bill, Ron. Ron, kick the bill, Ron. I'm open.
Let's say it for the people in the You're insecure as hell right now.
I never said anything. I never said anything about that. I was talking about dribbling the basketball. We're gonna get to the super chats, chill. I'm saying I want to make sure that we're clear about what I said. I heard
exactly what you said, Penn.
Thank you. I'm happy.
I heard what Penn said.
Because chill, you know how to listen and not be triggered by people disagreeing with you. All I said was about dribbling the basketball. That's what I was talking about.
Cool. Use a heavy ball. It's great.
All right, y'all.
Shout out to Handle Life.
Now that we all know how to properly train a 5-year-old, we could get into super chats. First off, go vote on the poll. I have a very curious question, and I would like to know how you guys feel about that. Go vote on the poll. But shout out to everybody that sent through a super chat. Let's get into them. The first super chat is from Lee Mack. Lee said, "At chill. Thank you for the advice the other day. It really helped. I discovered my ex-girlfriend was cheating on me for 2 months, that dirty heifer. Before I ended the relationship and cut her ass off. I'm moving forward now to better places."
That's what's up. Absolutely.
Damn. What advice?
The first thing you got to do is you got to check you. That's the first thing that you have to do.
Take your own temperature.
And you check your accountability. All right, how did I contribute to this? Even if it was this, because it wasn't. Last time I checked, everything isn't your fault, but everything ain't everybody else's fault either. So on some level, I might have contributed to this. However I did, I check it, I recognize it, I process it, and I move on. I'm not just going to sit here and hold it. And then on top of that, don't let the next chick, don't let her suffer because of what homegirl did to you. Because that ain't got nothing to do with the next girl. Nah, don't let her walk into that. Nope. Clean your house up. And when your next girl come in, she see that your place is clean and she know that you got it together. Because if she walking in your house is nasty, she gonna be like, yo, and you got your face scrounged up to her like, so? Nah, you still holding on to that other stuff. You gotta get off that.
Joe, you heard of the 5-5 rule?
The 5-5 rule. No, I haven't, sir.
If it won't matter,
listen up,
in 5 years. If it won't matter in 5 years,
oh, I have heard that. Yes, I have.
Don't spend 5 minutes worrying about it.
Matter. Yes, if I have heard that.
It's a great rule, man.
I thought you meant the 5-5 rule, like you got to be over 5'5" to ride this ride. I thought
that's funny.
All right, we got another super chat from, and right quick, Lee Mack. Life is constantly changing, brother. So, be ready for the next change. I believe better things the best is yet to come. Keep your head up, brother.
Stop getting cheated on.
How can you stop getting cheated on? How he can't control that?
Yes, you can.
No, you
Stop
can't.
cuffing these. Look, man. Hey, man.
The best is yet to come.
Yeah.
Acro said yesterday Penn was right. There is a reason why the NBA no longer works with TNT Broadcasting, hosted by Shaq and Ernie. They failed to adapt to talk with how the game has evolved in the past few years.
I think they understand their audience really well. I was wrong about something yesterday. Could I just quickly point out? I said that Draymond was the defender on LeBron in the corner. I'm wrong. I remembered it incorrectly. It was Iguodala. So my bad. On the Kyrie final shot, 89-89. I had that part right. I just completely forgot. It wasn't Draymond. So I apologize.
So Penn, to your point, imagine if LeBron James brings Andre Iguodala into that.
Iguodala is a great defender.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, what? So
the point still remains.
Like,
the point still remains. I just didn't want to, because like 10,000 people watch that show. I don't want 10,000 people to repeat that what I said, because I was wrong.
It's okay,
so,
Penn. So either way, see, that's why you're my tag team partner. Because when we click up, we be cooking.
First of all, Ron, just so you know, that's not why that happened. The reason why that happened is because TNT, they dropped the ball when it came to the money. That's why it happened. It had nothing to do with both Ernie, Shaq. That was the best show on television. If we're being honest, it was the most entertaining show on television. Despite how little some people think that they know about basketball, it was one of the best shows, if not the best show on television. And they screwed it up. They dropped the ball with the money, and that's how it ended up being what it was.
What is it the best at though? I'll agree with you. So, it's highly entertaining. It's amazing, right? It's people you recognize. That's cool. There's banter. There's like a lot of charisma. Shaq is hilarious. Chuck is hilarious. But it's like when you talk about some of the teams, the way they talk about, I think it influences the game in a negative way. It makes me not want to pay attention. Like when Shaq disparages a team, like when he disparages a player for not getting 20 and 10. That's the bar. Like, oh, you big man, you can't get 20 and 10. Now I'm seeing the game through his eyes and being like, well, why is this big man averaging 18 and 9? When he disparages Dwight Howard, like an example would be Dwight. Dwight was the best center in the game. Shaq wasn't having it. Like, oh, you big man, you can't even put two post moves together. Why can't Dwight be like, you a big man? Why can't you defend like me?
And Dwight could have said that. It was true. And it was true. Like Dwight, like we can argue Dwight wasn't on the level of a lot of great big men. We just did the 25 under 25 or the top
Mr.
25 of the
Tiltown
last
Hoops
year.
just referenced that Dwight should have won MVP the year that he averaged 23
And
points per
be
game.
that as okay, Derrick Rose won an MVP. Is Derrick Rose in any of y'all top 10 point guard list? No.
Not.
And if Magic Johnson, or well, it probably wouldn't have been Magic, if Steve Nash would have came and criticized him for not developing a knockdown jumper, Steve Nash would have been right.
Here's
Like I don't understand. Right quick, Ox. I don't understand why you can't watch the game and criticize it for the negative things that you see. Basketball's not perfect. It's not perfect.
He is though. I think the difference, Penn, is that he does know, but Shaq is doing it from his perspective. Shaq isn't doing it from the perspective of a fan. Shaq is doing it from the perspective of a big man. I am a big man.
Big man.
I played in the league, and when I played in the league, even from a talent standpoint, let's just take that off the table. When I played in the league, this what I was not allowed to do. This was my job. My job was to rebound. My job was to defend the rim. My job was to be dominant around the rim. My job was to score the basketball. My job was to get everybody involved. That was my job. And if I am the standard, because again, Shaq, this is who he was during that time. And if you are going to be put in that same category of being one of the best big men in the game, this is what I'm holding you to. That's what Shaq was doing. That's it.
Here's the thing, Cho. Greatness elevates. It doesn't disparage. Most great big men you'll see are quite gracious, like Kareem. I don't know about Wilt. I don't listen to enough Wilt, but Bill Russell. Bill Russell is very generous to the game. He's not necessarily talking down at the players who play today. I think it's interesting what Shaq says about Rudy Gobert. It's interesting what he says about JaVale McGee. It's interesting that he's constantly talking about guys not hitting their potential, because if I could be honest, he's probably a player that defines not hitting your potential. What did Kobe say? I wish he would have stayed in shape. I would have had 12 rings. That's the epitome. He's the greatest player of all time that never became the greatest player of all time.
So was Kobe wrong for saying that?
Kobe was not wrong.
No. Greatness bigs up greatness.
Kobe lied. He wouldn't have stayed with him.
Kobe wasn't wrong for saying that.
Okay, then that's what I'm saying.
They probably would have won 10.
No, he called out a flaw in Shaq. Shaq called out a flaw in Dwight. You can call out flaws.
It's like we losing in third grade. It's like we losing in third grade, and we had to do a math problem. And if you just wrote the answer, and if the answer was right, but you didn't show your work, you still got it wrong. That's what Penn and a lot of people have an issue with. Even if Shaq is right, Penn doesn't think Shaq's watching the game. So he's like, you can be right, but you need to watch it.
Shaq don't gotta watch the game. Shaq don't got amateur eyes. Shaq can look at the game. Shaq can watch 5 minutes in the game and dissect more in the 5 minutes than you can in 48 minutes. And I'm sorry, he can do that. I am sorry. Shaq has professional eyes. You don't have that. You don't have that. You ain't seen the shit that Shaq's seen. I'm sorry. Don't be mad at Shaq because Shaq can look at a math equation and break it and do it all in his head. He don't got to write everything down. He can go from step 1 to 10 like that. You're not mad at a math professor for being able to do that. So why the fuck are you mad at Shaq for being able to do that?
That is ridiculous.
Because
it's not ridiculous.
I'm gonna tell you why.
You have Kenyon Martin, who has been to the NBA Finals, and you just said he was wrong, right? Kenyon Martin is wrong. Lamar Odom is a professional basketball player. He's wrong.
And so
I don't think Lamar's wrong.
There's a lot of people that look at the big basketball player and they're like, oh, he's dumb because he doesn't talk the way that you talk it or this like that. So that's first and foremost. Shaq has that deep voice. He talks a little slower, so people just think he's dumb or he doesn't know what he's talking about. They don't understand what's really happening. But this is my thing, though, Ron. The issue that we had all last season we was up here and everybody was talking about the views are down because Shaq and Chuck are talking about how bad this is or that is, right? Yes. And I think that's crazy because why are you not watching the game? Because you don't like what Shaq had to say. You know what I'm saying? It's just that type of stuff has always been weird to me. The views are down because Shaq said that Joel Embiid
is not. This game is trash. Hold
on. Go ahead, real talk. Hold on, right quick. Let real talk.
You can still watch the game.
It's not number one, Ron. What you just said is a player to player thing. That's not an all-encompassing. Just because you're an elite basketball player doesn't mean that you understand the game at an elite level. I think sometimes we do get that confused because number one, my prime example of this is all of those NBA players are getting coached by people that 9 times out of 10 never were good enough to even make the NBA. That's just number one. Phil Jackson coached Shaq. Phil Jackson was telling Shaq what to do. Phil Jackson was never at his best day as good as Shaq. So that's just dumb in and of itself. You can't be like, oh, because they're an elite player, they understand it more than somebody else because
I never said anything about being elite. I said he's seen things in his game. He's played at a high level. But Shaq has watched more basketball than, except for Chill, all of us combined.
No,
he just has.
Probably, no, he
he's
has
been.
Not. I would bet my life he has not.
Shaq is also
Pin, I'm not talking. You don't. Watching basketball isn't just on a screen. You can watch it while you play it.
Ron. Shaq is also somebody. Shaq is also somebody.
You have to watch him.
Hold on. Shaq is also somebody who's on record repeatedly talking about how, oh my goodness, that X's and O's stuff. Whatever, give the ball to the best player and just let him rock out. That's how he views the game.
That's for TV.
That's
for TV.
In fact, wait. In fact, most of the time, again, nothing is 100% proof. But most of the reason why elite, talented players aren't good coaches is because they view the game through the lens of, oh, why can't you just be as good as me when I was out there doing it like that?
Right.
So they don't even get the concept of being a lesser player. They don't even understand that concept. That's another point. Number two, Ron, there's not a problem with criticizing the game. However, when do you uplift it? That was the problem with a lot of that's the problem.
I've heard Shaq uplift players though. I've heard Shaq give people big love.
That's the problem a lot of people had with that TNT crew. All they did was get on there every Tuesday and Thursday night, especially if it was Shaq, Chuck, and Kenny and EJ up there. EJ always tried to push it forward, but Chuck and Shaq and Kenny just wanted to sit back every night and be like, "Oh my God, this league sucks. They're not playing basketball." So if you do that 24/7, that is harming your product. That is not pushing the game forward at all. You're just coming up there complaining about the league 24/7.
Why don't people watch them make their own opinion
about Charles Barkley and sit there and complain about how we're not talking about we're talking about all we talk about is the Lakers and the Warriors and the nigga.
Stop right there, Ron. Stop right there, Ron. Stop right there. Which is 100% valid what you just said. But let's start the conversation with Shaq not watching film. I'm sitting in a hotel room in the Sheraton in Sacramento the night before Game 3 of the Western Conference semifinals. We're watching film. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting in Portland in Game 3, right before Game 3 in 2000, the Western Conference Championship. We're watching film. In 2006, when they played against the Detroit Pistons, I'm sitting down with him and I'm watching film. Don't sit there and tell me that this dude ain't doing his homework. He's doing his homework. He's always done his homework. He's a lot smarter than you guys give him credit for. And I'm not saying that you said that. What I'm saying, though, is he was doing his homework. He was understanding the game. A lot of this stuff that you see him saying, a lot of this stuff that you see on TV, it's exactly for that. It's for television. Shaq is a lot smarter than you guys know. Shaq knows the game a lot more than you guys think he does. Shaq dissects the game a lot more. He sees things. I'm sitting down. I vividly remember this like it was yesterday. We sitting down watching the Sacramento Game 2, and he went for 40 and 20. This dude is telling me how he needs to spin quicker off of D-Bach to get to the rim quicker so he can open up the lane a little bit more.
That's not insightful.
And he had 40 and 10. He's telling me, we're watching film. He's telling me I need to screen Brian Shaw's man a little bit quicker so Brian could be open at the rim a little bit more. We're watching games and we're watching film and we're breaking down film and he's doing his homework. He's not just showing up to these games like you guys think he is. 100% he is. A lot of this stuff is for television, and a lot of you guys have gotten tricked into thinking that that's all it is.
Good is it to act like the Pistons being 32 and 26 means nothing? I'm not impressed by that. Is that good? Is that good for us? Is it good?
If he's just telling the truth, if he's not impressed, he don't got to be like he's impressed.
But what was impressive about the Pistons?
He's not impressed.
First
What's
of
wrong with
all,
him telling the
what
truth?
was impressive about the Pistons?
Yes, what was impressive?
Y'all
They
need
won
to
32
stop
games.
Welcome to the
all
peanut
the time.
gallery.
Oh my God.
They
First
won
of all,
32
they
games.
were
What was
historically
impressive?
terrible.
This
Hold on.
oh my
They were
God. Can
historically
you
terrible.
imagine Shaq doesn't believe what I believe? Oh my God. Like, relax. You can still watch the basketball game. You don't have to agree with Shaq and Chuck. Shaq and Chuck have seen things that you haven't seen, so they're not impressed.
What the hell
But
does
so what?
one thing have
I
to
don't
do
know
with
what
the
the man-
other? The
What
game
I'm-
was
what I'm-
growing
I'm talking- I'm-
exponentially in the
Okay, but
90s
I'm saying,
because
but
there was a
you
lot of
don't-
uplifting
He
support.
doesn't believe what you believe. He's just telling you what he thinks. On top
know
of that, to Chill's point, it's show business. Like
No,
they're not
it's
going to be sitting up here.
laziness.
They're
It is.
not going to sit up here.
The
They're not
Pistons
gonna,
are not
They're
impressive.
not going to sit
That's
up
why I
here
don't care
and
about
be.
them.
But
That's why I
you're
don't
talking about
watch them.
journalists in the chat. He's not a journalist. He's up there to entertain at halftime
Sure.
and talk about the game. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? That's all. He doesn't have to break down
Don't
block plus minus and all that type of shit. He's like, yo, the big fella is too far out there. He should probably get on the block because he could dominate down there. And y'all mad at him? Well, that's just not the game we play anymore. So that's
So
what
when
he
you're
thinks,
trying to tell a player, you're commenting on a player who has been explicitly told by a coach who coaches him, who studies him, who watches him to get off the block and get out of the way. And Shaq is being like, why is a 7-footer standing at 25 feet from the basket?
Right.
Because his
So,
fucking
see,
coach
that's-
asked him to.
See, that's the issue.
That's
That's
why.
the issue right there. That's the issue right there. That's the problem. I just figured it out right there. That's the issue, okay?
Yeah.
The player should not listen to Shaq. The
But we are
player-
listening to Shaq.
You're not
We
the
are
player.
watching Shaq.
You're not the player.
Why do you keep moving the goalposts? Like you
I'm not moving the
got
goalposts.
you got a
I'm
goalpost
responding
attached
to
to your
what you
hand. You
said.
just moving it one place to another. Stick
I'm
to the
responding to
issue.
what you
What are we
said.
talking about?
I'm responding to what you said.
Okay.
You
Go ahead.
said that the player, the player's coach told him to be out here. Well,
Mhm.
Shaq's not the coach. Shaq is watching the game, and Shaq thinks, you know what? That big 7-foot dude, he should probably be on the block because he could dominate this guy. The coach doesn't feel that way, so that's why the player's not doing it. Shaq just has an opinion. He's just watching the game. Okay,
He's watching it through his own superstar eyes.
What Shaq says should not have any impact.
Rudy
what-
Gobert cannot do
The
what
Shaq
Shaquille
should not-
O'Neal can do.
Okay.
He does not have his
So
touch.
what?
He does not
So
have
why-
his
why are
IQ.
you-
He does
why
not have
are
his
you-
passing
why are
ability.
you-
He does not
Why
have
Why are you
him.
and everybody
He's
else
not
so
him.
infected? Why are you and everybody else so affected by what Shaq said? Shaq
Okay.
said that you
Let me
don't
explain.
agree with him.
Let me
What's the
explain.
big deal?
Let me try. Okay. What you focus on expands. This is a rule of life. Okay. This is a rule of life. If you want to focus on your problems expand. You want to focus on solutions expand. So if you want to focus your entire broadcast on how these games are stupid and they don't matter, and then why are you even watching this 32? I don't need to know about the 32. I don't watch the Pistons, boo-boo. Okay, cool. So yeah, that makes you cool. Not watching things makes you
No,
cool.
that's just
Watching,
what- that's just
hold
what he
on.
says.
The
Who
Pistons
cares?
were historically bad 2 years ago. Everybody talked about that team when they were historically bad. Oh, the losing streak, 16 losses, 17 losses. Oh, is this the worst team in NBA?
And that
history?
wasn't impressive, Penn. None of that was impressive.
It was very impressive
No.
because it spiked ratings. Now, when that same team goes from historically bad to a 40-plus win team and
Now
has
that
a
was
player,
impressive.
but that's when Shaq said they weren't impressive.
Okay, what do
They
you
weren't
disagree?
impressive to him.
Do you disagree? I disagree with Shaq. I think they were impressive just last year.
Hold on. A 42 or 43 or 44 win team. I can't remember the Pistons record offhand. I apologize. Someone look it up. That's not impressive by itself. But is like almost a 30 win improvement over the previous season an impressive feat? Yes.
Yes, it
So
is.
what
Ben.
I'm
It is,
saying
in
is,
fact, it
if
is.
you focus on the
Maybe not to
isolated
Shaq.
situation, hold on. This is why I say storytelling is a problem in the NBA. If you focus on, oh, that team has 32 wins and 26 losses, why should I care? Yes, but you should care because that player leading that team is first overall pick. And last I checked, he was the first overall pick in a draft that people said was generational, the best draft since 2003. You should be invested in Cade Cunningham. You should be invested in Franz Wagner. You should be invested in Paolo and Scotty and Jalen Green and the next wave of stars. Because when LeBron retires and when Steph retires and when KD retires and basically all the guys who basically played in the league around the same time that Shaq was around that he continues to follow, when those guys retire, you're not going to have anyone to talk about.
So 2 years ago, why weren't you invested in Cade? You have a basketball program. You have a responsibility to the basketball community. You have. I'm not saying that you didn't watch him. I said, why weren't you invested in him 2 years ago when he was a number one overall pick, when he was a rising star, when he was cooking?
He was definitely invested in Cade. Now, he wasn't high on him, but he was definitely invested.
What were you saying though? No, you weren't saying positive. Your first show when he was
positive things.
Okay, so why weren't you saying positive? Why weren't you pushing?
Why weren't you pushing the next star?
Why weren't you pushing him forward? He was a number one overall pick. Everybody else thought he was good. You didn't think he was good. Why weren't you invested in him?
You got to be a booster. I didn't say you got to be a booster. I say you got to give credit where credit is due. A team.
Why didn't you give him credit? When they sucked. When you first came up here and they sucked, why didn't you give him credit? He was a number one overall pick. Because you were merely giving your opinion. You didn't think that he was as good as the rest of us thought he did. If Shaq doesn't think the Pistons are as good as the rest of us do, then he doesn't. My thing is, I've heard Shaq big players up. I've heard Shaq big teams up. I've heard Shaq show love. I've actually heard Shaq say that somebody sucks or that somebody's not good, and then I've heard him come back a couple weeks or months later and said, "I am mistaken. You guys actually are good." I've heard Shaq do that. I've heard Chuck give people
love. Yo, like I'm not like what. Okay, the reason we're talking about Shaq is because Shaq's famous. Let's be honest. There's 1,000 people who do what he does, not as well as he does, not to as many people as he does, and quite frankly, a lot worse than he does, and a lot less entertaining than he is. So this is not a try to roast Shaq for not watching the Pistons podcast. This is more me trying to explain that not watching teams that you don't consider to be title contenders is not cool. Trying to project your own superstar in the 2000s mantra onto bigs of today who are objectively role players is not furthering the game. Talking down on the game all the time makes me want to turn away from the game. When I was growing up, we had 63 channels, Ron. 63 channels, and that was bougie because I had neighbors with 12 channels. And I'm gonna tell you honestly, when that basketball game came on and that NBC music came on, Ahmad Rashad, there's nothing better on. But now I got a phone with endless opportunities and options. I got millions of podcasts to listen to. And if you tell me that this product is whack, if this product is shit, this product ain't worth watching, this product is watered down, this product used to be better, all the teams play the same, these bullshit ass ex-players who talk down on the game. And I'm not talking specifically Shaq. I'm talking about this quote from Lamar Odom. I'm talking about all these players who tear down the game that made them so successful, that gave them so much, tearing it down for this generation, trying to tear down this generation, saying they don't play defense, they're not tough, they're soft, they're this. Like, please, bro, please.
I would like
watch the game. Watch the game and come up with your own opinion.
I would like to say that because I do feel like in basketball more than any other sport, and I'm going to compare it to the NFL because it's the other major American sport right now, and I can only speak for America, right? Well, I can't speak for America, but you know what I'm saying. I live in America. I know, like,
today.
Football is the biggest sport in America. If you watch a football show, football is not covered how the NBA is covered. And football does a much better job talking about the current players, giving them props, and uplifting them no matter the market also. People care about the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills people care about.
Because they're good.
That's because the NFL does a really good job promoting their sport as a whole.
Real talk. Now, they're good. Nobody cared about the Bills 7 years ago.
Okay,
let him cook.
He's not lying. Let me finish the point.
I'm not lying. Who cared about the Bills 10 years ago?
Wait a minute.
Who cared about the Bills 10 years ago?
The point is that when a up-and-coming team with a star player is good, like Buffalo was with Josh Allen for years, they've been getting more hype. That's a fact. The NBA, we have to wait. For most people, we have to wait till somebody was a damn chip to be like, oh, maybe they were good. Charles Barkley was on television talking about how you can't win a chip via jump shot. all up until Golden State won the damn championship. And then all of a sudden, we could give Golden State some credit now and Steph Curry. That's what I'm saying. But the other point is basketball is the sport, and I've contributed to it, so I can't even act like I haven't, where it's just such generational divide. And you want to know why? Because every old head or wannabe old head like Jordan Drenchman comes up here and tells you how fucking Paul Pierce would be better than SGA if he played today or just as good. That's disrespectful to SGA. I don't give a damn how y'all try to flip it. You can look crazy in the goddamn screen and all of that, because every time it's, oh my goodness, this player would just come up here and just be the best nigga in the league. Like, no, that's not how that works all the time. And so in vice versa, it happens as well. So the newer generation looks back, chill. I'm coming to you and say, hey, Magic Johnson ain't all that good, right? Maybe I am pushing it too far, but I am doing that for a reason, because y'all do that consistently with this era of basketball. All we have to hear is how such and such would just come into the league and be SGA, would be Giannis, would be Jokic. It's it, bro. Stop.
And it sucks real talk because it sucks real talk.
And this is the sport that it happens to the most.
It doesn't happen in football. It doesn't happen in baseball.
I explained to y'all how come I explained to y'all already how come NBA or just basketball in general is covered that way, because there's more people around the world that got access to go play one-on-one with their friends at the park. Everybody thinks they're a basketball expert because everybody can play basketball. It's a lot harder to play football. A lot of people can relate to basketball because they think that they're basketball experts because they can go play anytime. We've explained it already. My thing is this. Once again, I don't understand how come y'all. I get that. I do get that you can get tired of hearing people bash this, bash. That does get exhausting. I'm with you on that, real talk. I'm with you on that, Penn. I agree. My only issue is this: just because somebody who you clearly don't much respect their opinion, just because somebody says something you don't agree with, don't mean that you can't still watch basketball. That doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that you have to let other people mold your opinion. And I'm not saying that's what you're doing, real talk. I'm just saying for the people out there, if Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, Kenny the Jet, Lamar Odom, Kenyon Martin, Rashad McCants, me, Chill, Ron, Jordan, anybody, if anybody says something and you're like, that's just fucking stupid, I don't agree with that. That should never deter you from watching the game that you supposedly love. If I hear people say, I'm not watching the NBA no more because Charles Barkley and Shaq really pissed me off, that makes me think you probably don't really like basketball. You just want to get entertained some way, somehow. You know what I'm saying? So this is just my call. This is just my call to action to y'all. This is just my call to action to y'all. My call to action is keep watching basketball, no matter what you hear, no matter what anybody says to you about the style of play, no matter what anybody says about chucking threes, no matter what anybody says about analytics, no matter what anybody says about basketball. Penn, stop being mad. I'm just saying, keep watching hoop.
Why?
Keep watching basketball, no matter what. If you don't like Doris Burke, keep watching basketball.
Threes,
wait, hold on.
Oh, what is that?
Okay,
Penn. I say you're soft, and I watch you all the time. See how that works?
All right, y'all. I do got to get into the super chats. Hey, real talk. I give you one more second, real talk, but then we got to move on.
Give me 1 second. So actually, this is so funny that I get like from niggas like Jordan in the chat, right? And first off, Jordan, we in the same city. That's number one. Number two, I'm not no nerd ass nigga either. Number three, it's actually ironic how you niggas like to call other niggas soft, but you're having an emotional bitch fit because somebody disagrees with you. That's soft. I can live with you disagreeing with me. That's fine. You can come up here and disagree with me right now. I don't care. But we're not finna be, you're not finna resort to name calling because I disagree with you. That's in fact emotional. So again, you can come up here. We can meet up. You can DM me, whatever you want to do.
We can.
I'm not even talking on. I'm not even talking on. We're gonna meet up in squad. I'm just saying we can have this discussion about basketball face to face. We quit that little soft nerd shit.
We can meet up, but you gotta leave by 4 a.m.
We ain't never been that.
That's fire. That's a good callback.
We
That's
ain't
all
never
love,
been
y'all.
that.
We don't need that.
All right, y'all. Well,
Anyone who's with us on playback last night, you got the reference. You
let
laughing
me
your
read the
ass off
super
right
chats
now.
from these soft nerds in the chat. Drink More Water said, I have to break my super chat protest. Drink More Water, you were on a super chat protest? I didn't know. But Drink More Water said, I have to break my super chat protest to say this. My coach told me you don't have to like the person to have to learn how to play with them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on between Penn and Ox. This is what I'm looking for. I don't know what's going on between Penn and Ox, but the cat fighting derails the show.
I have a way of talking that is very insufferable for Ox, I think.
I disagree. I think this is good hoop talk. I think we still been talking good ball.
Hoop talk or cat talk?
Look, friction is good. Like what makes
I don't know about that.
what makes Shaq and
Meow.
Chuck entertaining to listen to? Please stop, Ron, with your sound effects. Derailing the show. That's what derailing the show. Ron.
Eurostep, Pin. Keep going.
Okay. So this idea of like banter and I think friction is good. Honestly, for storytelling, you need to have people take opposite positions. This would be the most boring show on the planet if Ox be like, you know what? Teams take too many threes. And Real Talk's like, you know what? I agree. And I'm like, I agree. And Ron's like, I agree. Great. Next topic. Like, what the hell? This is a debate show. We supposed to debate. And you know what? The chat, you could pick a side. On which side you on, you might be on Ox's side because you fuck with Ox. You might be on my side and be like, this Penn guy making some sense. But like we got to give you options. We got to say different things. And I'm not lying up here. I do disagree with Ox a lot, and that's cool. And I think Ox disagrees with me. It's cool, man. It's cool.
No, Pin. I think I agree with you more times than you know. I think that you just don't like the way I explain things, you know, and that's okay. It's all right. It's all hoop. It's all hoop with me, man. It's always hoop with me. It's just show business as far as I'm concerned.
A few years from now, I think like I will inch closer to, you know, I've also said L basketball quite a few times, by the way.
Real talk. Do you currently have any cat fights going on?
Oh man.
Nah, I don't know.
All right.
And again, I'm just saying like the because I disagree, that means I'm whatever label you want to put on me. Like, nah, we just disagree.
And you cooked up today.
I think sometimes that we take the word nerd as a complete disrespect, and I'm not sure if everybody means it that way.
I'm very proud of the word nerd, man.
I think you know what I'm saying. That's all. I don't think probably don't mean it that way, y'all. We could.
You think we should use the word dweeb instead?
Trying to bring
see that's crazy. I think dweeb is just very rude.
What about Dexter?
Oh man,
Poindexter? I think that's actually that's much more sophisticated, y'all. But let's keep going.
I just want to normalize like actually wanting to watch games and learn and evolve. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm trying to like unnormalize, if that's a word. I'm trying to denormalize this idea of just talking down on the game and trying to, you know, dismiss anything we don't understand as being stupid or whatever. Like the best
or dumb
or dumb. Yes, I'm guilty of that. So like my point is like the best learners, like you be shocked sometimes. Like sometimes I hit up one of these trainers, these scouts, and I'm like, this dude is going to talk down to me, and you be shocked at how open they are. And how they'd be like, oh, I'm taking this course and that course. And it's like, bro, you've been doing this for 25 years. You've done training like 16 all-stars. You taking courses? And it's like, how am I supposed to stay sharp if I'm not taking courses?
Gotta keep
getting
better.
How am I supposed to stay sharp if I'm not reading books, but I'm not talking to other people? So this notion of like consistently learning and, you know, again, this idea of like how we cover the game up here. If you are telling people that this game is whack, these players are whack, these players are soft, there's really no reason for anyone to care. The reason everyone tuned into Caitlin Clark was why. The reason everyone tuning in to watch Novak Djokovic is why. Even right now, they're watching something because they're watching something that they feel they can't miss.
He's a GOAT. He's a GOAT.
Well, right. But like where would Novak's career be if everyone who covered him in the tennis was like old heads who'd just be like, this guy's never going to be as good as Boris Becker? It's like, come on, man.
But that's the thing, though. That's the thing, though. A lot of people were down on Bron when he first came around, and Bron's still a GOAT. So once again, I feel you. I get where you're coming from. Like I do think that a lot of people should be more, especially these guys that are on TNT, ESPN, all that. I think they should do more bigging up. But I think that a lot of people do that. That's all I'm saying. And I also just think that we should keep. I just think we should keep watching no matter what. Like if you like a player, don't let somebody tell you that player isn't good because they don't play the way they play. Shaquille O'Neal he's looking at it from to Chill's point. He's looking at it from his shoes. He's looking at it like you're big enough to dominate there. You should dominate there. But their coach is telling them we're going to play this way. And I think that's what's more important. I think what's more important than anything is just what you're seeing on the court as opposed to the narrative around it. We got to keep watching ball, keep supporting the league. The league is in a good place. This next season is going to be great. There's a lot of storylines going into it, a lot of great teams on the West and in the East. Don't worry about what Shaquille O'Neal and Chuck got to say about it. If they don't like it, they should turn their damn TV off. You know what I'm saying? Turn your damn TV off because I'm going to turn mine on. We're going to watch basketball, bro. Keep watching hoop. Don't let that shit derail you and be like, oh, I shouldn't watch this because Chuck says, oh, goddamn what Chuck is talking about. Turn your TV on and watch basketball. Come to your own opinion, your own decision, and don't let these dudes ruin it for you.
And Penn, you remember how I started the stream? I started the stream two hours and 18 minutes ago by saying how much I love the NBA right now. Now, it may be some things I disagree with. So, hey, I love my girl. There's certain things I don't like about her, and I'll tell her I don't like this about you.
And that don't mean y'all breaking up. Because
exactly.
Man, you know what the most toxic should be in the world? Some people be like, I love you. And that's why I treat you like shit. You know what I mean? So if you love something, preserve
baby
it.
Boy.
If you love something, treat it
I don't treat the NBA like shit. I'm up here for 3 hours a day talking about this punk ass NBA.
I'm not saying you necessarily treat the NBA like shit, but I'm saying like what I actually had an interview the other day with one of the Raptors broadcasters, the OGs, Chuck Swirsky from the early 2000s. This guy is he's a Hall of Fame type of broadcaster. He does the Chicago Bulls now, right? And I was telling him like the coolest thing about like basketball for me is growing up in the 90s. I liked basketball a lot because if you were in New York, you liked basketball. But I didn't start loving, like obsessing over basketball until I got to Toronto and I saw Vince Carter. And the way that this dude, I'm sorry, Vince Carter more exciting to watch than Patrick Ewing. Shock. But what I'm saying is the way this guy covered the game, it was like a child. Like he was amazed by Vince. He wasn't sitting there and being like, Vince taking too many jump shots, Vince, blah, blah, blah. No, he was amazed by what this guy was doing. It's like the 3-pointers, the explosions in the playoffs, and it got me hooked. And I sat through some terrible ass teams and I continued to be obsessed with basketball. So, it was a great interview because I got to thank him for sparking that curiosity and that love that I have for this game. But that starts with, respecting that these athletes are like truly one-on-one, not acting like anyone could do it. Any bum can go out and shoot threes. I can go play in the NBA. No, having the respect of what you're watching on the court and then having that appreciation for the story that's unfolding, right? As I said, with the Novak thing, with the Caitlin Clark thing, with the Paige Beckers thing, with the feuds and all that stuff, that's what makes people lock in. Ox can say like, oh, I know everything we're saying, la, 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 but please just go watch. And I'm thinking about the viewer. I'm like, why would I want to watch something you're telling me is watered down? Why would I want to watch something if Lamar Odom telling me it's all the same? No, because it's all different and it's amazing. And these young players are doing some amazing shit with the basketball, and that's never been seen before. What the OKC Thunder did last year is not boring. It's the greatest defense, arguably, of all time, or at least one of the most unique defensive philosophies. Go watch it. Go study it. Go break it down. It's not as simple as they got a whole bunch of guys who played good defense. No, it's a scheme. It's sophisticated. What the Indiana Pacers, I don't want to watch Indiana, Ron. Why? Why don't you want to watch Indiana? Because we haven't spent any time covering Tyrese Haliburton or Pascal Siakam over the last 5 years, and these are not household names. And I don't give a shit about Andrew Nemhard because I didn't watch Gonzaga, and I don't give a shit about Aaron Nesmith because he was a bum who was in the lottery and he didn't pan out, and I don't give a shit about Miles Turner because he plays with Lego. And it's just like, bro, like the narratives are so shit. Like I'd rather go watch Jalen Brunson than I watch the Indiana Pacers. And it's just like if you locked in. If you really, really locked into these teams, you do appreciate what Indiana does. You do appreciate what Denver does. But all I hear about Denver, what do I hear about Denver from some of the haters on the panel? Jokic doesn't block shots. Murray doesn't play defense. Like, come on, man. You watch one of the greatest centers of all time. Can you appreciate it?
I never disagree with that.
Like, I would love for, like, you know what? Here's the thing. People hated on Shaq too. I'm gonna be honest. Like, y'all remember in the early 90s, when he was in LSU, people would be like, why isn't he scoring more in his freshman season? Like, he's so big. Why isn't he scoring more? He's just a defender. He gets drafted for his defense and becomes this great offensive player. And I'm saying like people be hating on him for not hitting free throws, people hating on him for like his defense and stuff. And it's just like at this point, like I'm willing to say on record, Rudy Gobert is a better defender than Shaquille O'Neal all time. I don't know if Shaq ever wants to hear that, but I think that that's true.
Yeah.
And it's just like, can we talk about Rudy's defense?
Yo,
Or we
Pin,
just only gonna talk about how you're not getting on the block.
Pin, I got to get to these super chats, though. We've been talking about this for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
My bad.
Salute to everybody that's still in here. We are about to get into this Kawhi Leonard scandal right here and right now. But first, I got to read some of these super chats.
Yeah,
IDK sent through a super chat and said, Ox is so annoying sometimes. Like, he expects people to feel his logic instead of breaking it down logically. And he had to tap in and experience his logic on his views without utter bitch. I don't know what you meant to say. Hey, I don't know. We don't know. But appreciate the super chat. And we get the point. Ox is annoying.
If I am annoying though, I'm gonna keep watching. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. I'm gonna keep being me. I don't care about your opinion. You see, that's the thing. We just gotta be true to what we love. If you love basketball, man, it doesn't matter. Just keep watching it, man. Keep watching it. Please keep watching it.
Tens sent through a super chat. I don't know what currency that is, but Tens said, try drinking Coca-Cola while the advertisement says it's sewage water, Ox.
Facts.
Yeah, but if I could taste it and I see it's Coca-Cola, I see, that's your problem. That's our problem. Y'all listen. That's y'all issue right there. Y'all listen to too much advertisement. Y'all listen to too much what people say. Go experience it. That's probably why y'all don't go outside, because y'all heard it was hot out there. I can't stand that. Take your ass outside and go breathe some fresh air. Enjoy your life, bro. Don't let people tell you that something is what it's not. You can go experience it and come up with your own opinion. You know what I mean? Like, just have fun, bro. You gotta live a little. Just because you're existing doesn't mean that you're living, man. Go out there and enjoy that shit. And you know what? If sewage water tastes good, I might just drink that shit too.
Ew. Joseph Washington said, get this brother RT a chef hat and a jacket. Duh.
Real talk.
Real talk doesn't like what he's hearing, so he's not watching.
Yeah.
no, it's not that I don't like what I'm hearing, but apparently we got to crash out over basketball take. So, it is what it is.
Okay. Philboy7 said, how a pundit talks about the sport impacts the casual viewer. If all a person hears is how bad the NBA is from a former player, that viewer will have a bad outlook on the game. It's just group think. Facts.
You know what? If I told you even one Tylenol, right, in 200 boxes was poison, you'd swear off Tylenol.
But what if somebody else came up and said that you're lying? Then what?
But that is so different. Like, y'all keep coming with these analogies that are just so different. That shit'll kill you.
What makes you violently ill? Whatever, man.
Me watching basketball because you say it's bad that's not going to kill me. Me taking poison will end my life.
Look, I have spent the last 5 years writing articles and making podcasts about like how the game is good and how we need to break down film and stuff. Nobody cares. Lamar Odom says everyone playing the same. We make a show about it. See what I mean?
That's because you're not Lamar Odom.
Okay, cool.
Don't take that personal. That's a fact. That's not a shot at you, man. That's not a shot at you.
How many NBA players have said we're in a good place?
Just wait. Please understand that that's not a shot at you, Penn.
I don't care. You take shots. I don't give a shit.
I want you to understand. I want you to understand that when Lamar Odom says that, yes, because that has something to do with today. We're gonna talk about that, bro.
I'm gonna call my therapist and let him know that I'm now sad that I'm not Lamar Odom. I'm so sorry. My God, I'm so sad. Look, some people there are NBA players out there who are saying this game is great. This game is awesome. What I'm asking you, Ron, is can we make a show about that sometime?
About what?
Can we make a show the next time an ex-NBA player comes out and says, you know what? This is amazing. These dudes are great. Can we talk about that sometimes?
Why not?
Great. Okay, perfect. Let's set that up. Please have me on that show.
Okay. Please do.
Mike the Champ said, I heard something about the PCL, and it's time I come out of retirement. But this time I'm coming back with the belt. The champ has returned. Yes, y'all.
Come with a belt. Come with a camera.
Yes,
That's
y'all.
what
Mike the
I-
champ.
That's a fact.
Dude, Ridge in the chat said he looking for that. He looking for smoke with him. And I have yet to hear him respond to him. Dude, Ridge in the chat says he want all the smoke with him, not some of it or most of it. He wants all the smoke with him.
Yeah, well, Mike the champ isn't lying. The PCL season 3 will be kicking off here very shortly in just a couple weeks. So y'all set your calendars for these dates and be ready to be entertained how the PCL always does. I can't wait to see who's on top this year. I can't wait to see who wins that first place, second place, and third place prize. And ultimately, I can't wait to see who Morals will have to give up that belt to. Should be entertaining, y'all. We got another super chat from Void Century. Void said, quote unquote, I got 40,000 hours in this shit. What did J. Cole say? ... You came a long way. But the bad news is you went the wrong way.
Hey, Ron, that's what's up though. You put in that work, man. You put in that work.
Yeah, I put in enough work to know how to train a 5-year-old. So there you go. But
you know me, Ron. I hate training them young ass kids.
We got another super chat from Byru. Byru said the ambassadors of the game, they are ambassadors of the game. Should they not speak high of it? Ox, would you pay someone for bad press on your product?
I don't know.
Well, simply put, if I agree to write a 200-word article for you in Forbes about your suit brand, and I'm gonna rip it and say it's just like every other suit, would you pay me to write that? No.
Hold on. Wait a second. It depends. Like how does this work out? Do I get paid for the article? And do I get paid?
No, you were paying me to write the article.
So wait. I'll pay you. I pay you to write the article. I'm talking about when the article sells. Do I get any on the back end?
You think you getting a portion of my Forbes
I
sale?
negotiate. Chill. I negotiate. You can accept the 360 deals all you want. I know how to negotiate.
But Oxto,
on the back end,
the NBA gets something on the back end every time Chuck and Shaq say something bad about the game. The NBA is getting paid by TNT for TNT to put that on their network. So guess what?
You gotta know how to negotiate. I'm not negotiating. I negotiate for equity. Give me some on the back end, and we good, right? Whatever you want, put all that shit in there. Hey, read it. I don't care what you do with it. Just pay me for it.
Yeah.
You don't gotta like my suit. Just buy one.
You know who's really gracious towards players today? Like an old head. You consider maybe an old head who is like very, very generous to the players today, and a lot of empathy and a lot of respect. Vince Carter, and I like the fact that he's going to be commentating more now.
But you know what though, Pin, on a serious note, to answer your question, seriously, of course I wouldn't pay you to say something bad, you know what I'm saying? But
bad move. Said, though, you should pay.
With that being said though, Pin, if you don't like something, you have every right to say that. You know what I'm saying? And but my thing is this: the people that read that, you got a choice. Like, are you just gonna believe what somebody says, or are you gonna go put the suit on? And find out that this affordable luxury shoe is the best brand you're ever gonna wear. You know what I'm saying? That you know what I'm saying, you could customize this from head to toe. Get all the access stitching. We got over 10,000 different fabrics, so many different buttons, inside linings, everything you want. It's the best suit you'll ever wear. But you can listen to Pin if you want to.
Hey, Lee Matt.
Or you can put it on. You can put it on to find out for yourself. I advise
What's it called
people,
again?
It's called self-made couture, but that's not what we're here for right now. I just want y'all to understand. I believe that you should make your own decisions. Don't be sheep, people. Do your own research.
And make your own suit. Hey, Lee Mack, you want to get over that old trick? I got you. Put on one of these new fitted, fresh, custom suits, and I promise you, the honeys will be flocking like bees.
Y'all better cash at me
flowers.
y'all better cash at me for lining you up on perfect promo there.
Thank you, Pin. But y'all, let's go ahead and get into it. As you can see on the screen, there is a scandal that we must talk about, and it is Kawhi Leonard and Steve Ballmer. Breaking news that Kawhi Leonard has allegedly signed a $28 million no-show job endorsement deal with a fraudulent tree planting company. secretly funded by $50 million from Clippers owner Steve Ballmer. I am about to play this video because it's going to tell you guys so much more about the situation than I even know. I'm going to play a couple minutes of it. Y'all lock in. Listen to what my man Pablo is saying, because he is the one, Pablo Torres. He is the one who broke the story and broke the news. So here we go, y'all. Listen up.
What we know is that NBA executives were suspicious of how Steve Ballmer's Clippers landed the most valuable free agent on the market, Kawhi Leonard. That the NBA did not find that Ballmer got Kawhi by sweetening their offer. But also that in March 2025, this celebrity-endorsed, multi-billion-dollar, allegedly fraudulent tree brokerage named Aspiration, which promises to clear your conscience and your emissions, they filed for bankruptcy. And this is where the clue is. What David's looking at with his glasses on is a bankruptcy filing, and there's a list of creditors. The entities to which Aspiration and all of their alleged fraudulence still owes the most money. And what I noticed is what David is noticing right now, which is that on that list of creditors, up near the top, above the Boston Red Sox, is an LLC, a tiny little company that Aspiration owes $7 million. And that LLC's name, David, is what?
KL2 Aspire LLC.
And what does it list there under manager or member name?
Kawhi Leonard.
Whose NBA jersey number, just to connect all of the dots here, happens to be what?
Number 2.
So then the question is, the Aspire part of KL2 Aspire LLC, right? Because, okay, he's getting all this money, millions of dollars. What I started doing was scour the internet for any mentions of Aspiration. Any appearances, tweets, quotes, Instagram posts, anything by Kawhi Leonard endorsing Aspiration. And this was hard to find, which also might seem weird, right? Because every other celebrity Aspiration gave money to was well known. There was Drake offering a statement to Rolling Stone. There was Doc Rivers, Kawhi's own head coach. Robert Downey Jr. was cutting his commercial. That was the whole point of paying the A-list Avengers. But the grand total number of times that I found Kawhi Leonard ever publicly referencing Aspiration, 0 times.
Right.
Kawhi Leonard mentioned Aspiration. And so what
All right, fellas. I need thoughts, comments, and reactions to what is going on in Clipper land right now.
They literally stole.
Okay, so you want
100%, man. That's where I was going.
Well, real quick though, let me ask you a question, Ron. First of all, this is such elementary detective work. Okay, the social media isn't life. Social media isn't everything. You know, just because everybody else maybe had to post it on social media doesn't mean Kawhi Leonard had to. Maybe they use Kawhi Leonard as a way to get other people on board just by flashing his name. And you know what? Even furthermore, even if they didn't, mind your goddamn business. Let them pay Kawhi how they want to. That's how they do it in LA.
It's ridiculous.
That's the whole point of going to LA, because we can pay you with endorsements. You just be a figurehead. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about none of this.
That's not
that
an
money,
endorsement. That's tampering. What are you?
Get that money,
what are we on
here? He wasn't
here?
staying in Toronto no matter what. Get
Yes,
that money, why? Get that money, baby.
Excuse me.
He wasn't staying in Toronto.
Once again, the louder you talk doesn't make your takes correct. Knowing a thing or two about this would help. Knowing a thing or two might help.
It's the chat. Me and the chat.
Hold up, though. Let Penn and Chill go. What you got, Penn?
So first of all, when you are a businessman, one thing you don't do is you don't leave money on the table not to get that money back somewhere else on some level. Okay, so Kawhi Leonard is leaving Toronto, and he's leaving $40 million on the table. He ain't leaving $40 million on the table just to go home. That's not happening. No, because he could have went home a long time ago, right? It didn't just happen in 2019. Well, I was going to say coach. I'm sorry. Steve Ballmer comes in and he sweetens the deal. 100%. We're going to make this deal. We're going to make this work for you, and we're going to make sure that you get this money back. So 100% they did that, and they're doing that all over the NBA. That's all going on. It just so happens that we just found out about it with Kawhi Leonard.
Chill, but it's not Kawhi who should be under investigation. If you want to
What?
investigate somebody, investigate Steve Ballmer.
Okay, first
Kawhi
of
ain't doing
all,
nothing wrong.
Uncle Dennis, who is Kawhi's representative in a lot of these negotiations,
Shout out,
attempted to extort. Man, my legs be tired of all the Euro stepping I have to do, yo. Come on, can we let it?
I'm listening.
Like,
Go ahead, Pig. Go ahead.
Here's
Go ahead,
the thing.
man.
Uncle Dennis
Stop
went
skipping leg
to
day.
Toronto, went to the Lakers, went to the Clippers, and they tried to extract the best offer possible. And because of the confines of the NBA and the CBA, there's a limit to how much you can actually pay these players. And that is meant to create parity of opportunity. So when you have a team run by a psychopathic billionaire like a Steve Ballmer, who is willing to win at all costs and sign guys, whatever it takes, ship out Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah, how'd that work out? No championships, huh? Okay. So what I'm saying is when you're willing to skirt the rules, when you're willing to bend the rules, you're not playing fair. And obviously, Steve Ballmer comes from a world of Microsoft where they don't really play fair. Let's just be real. There's no rules and regulations. But when you use that mentality, it's just like Shaq trying to, tell Rudy Gobert how to get his ass in the post. When you're Steve Ballmer and you come from the world of Microsoft and high tech and, those worlds where they're just crushing startups left, right, and center, when you use that same mentality in the NBA, it doesn't work because there are rules in the NBA to prevent exactly the situation from happening. Now, there's the reason that this is tampering, number one, is because the Clippers courted him all year long. That's first and foremost. Lawrence Frank was there at the Raptor games, just kind of like letting Kawhi know, like, hey, how you doing? Kawhi's like, don't you run the fucking Clippers? Steve Ballmer's been on record saying they didn't care what it took to get Kawhi away. They knew he wanted to go to LA. They didn't want to lose him to the Lakers. And so Uncle Dennis went to the Raptors and he tried to extort them to give him some, stuff. Hey, trade this guy and that guy, and can we get Paul George in Toronto? And the Raptors are like, so we got to trade Pascal and we got to trade Kyle. We don't want to do that. And then Uncle Dennis is like, okay, and I want to get this money, and I want to get this person paid and that person paid, and get this person hired and that person hired. Let's just be honest. There's a limit to tampering that I'm willing to stomach and accept. If you want to get your trainer hired onto the assistant staff, and you want to get, I don't know, your cousin a couple of, a bullshit cushy, job in the front office, I'm willing to listen to that. And you'd be crazy not to think that that's part of the negotiations. But when you negotiate this level of off-court, branding situation, this is not a brand deal. This is not New Balance, Puma. This is not, FUBU coming out of the woodwork. This is not that. This is a shell corporation that has been created with explicit bullshit. It's not a real company, Ox. It's what a shell corporation is. It's not a real company. It's a bullshit company that has been set up
playing trees, right?
Primarily to pay Kawhi Leonard above and beyond his salary, which is skirting and circumventing the cap. Every owner in the league should be pissed for the same reason, by the way, that they were pissed last year when Luka got traded to the Lakers and nobody else got to know about it. This is not how the league.
I think that's different. I think that's different. That whole thing with
two guys working together.
That's
like
one thing.
Mikhail working with his Celtics.
This is different. Now, if this not so one thing is those are two different things. Let's not throw the Lakers in the Mavericks in here. Let's not drag them through the mud. If this is a problem, they should do something about it. That's my thing. Like, okay, if you did something that's wrong,
strip their championship.
Okay, if you did something that's wrong, if you did something, well, this isn't the NCAA. You can't just go back and strip shit like that. But you know what I'm saying?
They have
like,
no championships to strip.
But you know what? And I think that's the problem here. I think the problem is that he wasn't staying in Toronto.
Yes,
so look,
was.
So
you don't
well,
know
he
that.
didn't.
Do you know him? Do you know him? This is the logic you use with me. Do you know Kawhi?
But he didn't. I know that. I know that he didn't.
He didn't because he didn't.
Chill, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Because please don't say it doesn't matter.
Pay him under the table in the Raptors.
Chill, he didn't stay. He didn't stay.
Hold up, y'all. Let's hear from Chill. Right quick, Ox. Let's hear from Chill. What you got to say about this, Chill?
The reason why he didn't stay was because one, he was able to go home, and two, they sweetened the deal. That money that he left on the table, we're gonna get that back to you. And I can tell you right now what it's not gonna be. Damn sure ain't gonna be that New Balance money. No, we're gonna get that $40 million that you left on the table. We're gonna get some of that back to you. And don't worry about how we do it. You're not gonna have to worry about how we do it. We're gonna do it our way. And they did that. 100% they did that.
Allegedly.
Then so how did this fake company come about, Ox?
Well, chill. This because hold on, because this is all allegations. Now, if it comes out to be true, Fine, but this is allegations. This is three dudes on TV showing some paperwork. This is allegations. Now, if it comes out to be true, that's one thing. That's one whole thing. This is This is America. You're innocent until proven guilty. Okay. So this is allegations, right? I want to put that out.
This is very sad.
Hold on. I know
out of you. Every time we talk about Kawhi Leonard,
hold on, because
your brain goes somewhere else.
If you don't even know what's going on, you too busy beefing with Jordan. Listen first, brother. What I'm saying is this.
I ain't got no beef.
These are allegations first and foremost. I just want to put that out. It's America. You got to go through due process. Secondly, what I also want to say is if they do get found guilty on something like this, they deserve whatever punishment is coming to them. I also want to say this is a Steve Ballmer issue. Kawhi Leonard couldn't have just did this. Steve Ballmer came with that. So what y'all talking about the Kawhi? Hold on, Penn, relax. Why y'all talking about the Kawhi Leonard scandal? This is a Steve Ballmer scandal.
That's not what happened.
What?
That's not what happened.
So you're telling me that Kawhi Leonard went and did all this fraudulent paperwork and did this whole deal. He strong-armed Steve Ballmer? Is that what you're saying?
You don't have to sell drugs to a drug dealer, bro.
There was some incentive, Ox. You know what the incentive was? $28 million.
I know.
That was the incentive.
I'm
getting involved in.
Yes, who's paying that $28 million, Chill?
I might not be the mastermind, right? I might not be the mastermind, but the incentive is the $28 million. So I'm going to get involved in this. And just so you know, that $28 million
Steve Ballmer
Steve Ballmer paid, that $28
allegedly.
million, he wiped his ass with that $28 million. That $28 million.
Exactly.
That $28 million goes nowhere.
So you're capping for billionaires now, Chill? This is so not
no, you know what I'm not doing? No, I'm not doing that.
But Kawhi Leonard didn't create the shell company. Kawhi Leonard didn't do all that. Kawhi Leonard accepted the money.
He damn sure took that bread, though. He damn sure took that bread.
Yes, he should have.
In addition to him taking
Steve Ballmer's the crook here.
So hang on.
Allegedly.
Ox, if you go up to a person and you say, give me $50 million in order to, circumvent some sort of tax loop or whatever, give me $50 million tomorrow. And you know that person has to go and do some horrible ass shit. That's not your problem.
No, because wait. This is what they did. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, Pin. If I tell you, look, that's not enough money to come play for y'all, and then you come back next week say, hey, Kawhi, I got $28 million for you.
Defending Kawhi harder than Kawhi defends players. Come on, man.
What is that? You're just mad at Kawhi for leaving. And so you are blinded by that.
No, come on, man. Don't do this.
So look.
Don't project your own emotional thought process onto me. I'm not you. I don't think like you. I don't emote.
That's what you're doing. You're clearly upset. It's like the Mikey Moore thing. It's the Mikey thing.
I'm happy he left. I'm cool. He went home. I'm good. I'm good.
I'm sure you are.
I'm sure you are.
I'm upset that he left. I am. I'm upset that he left.
I know you can leaving. My take was at the time, I'm happy for him. He delivered us a championship. Go home.
Yo. Y'all got to stop yelling over each other.
Well, he's crying. I'm not trying to yell.
Hey, let's talk like gentlemen. Let's talk like gentlemen.
Oh my God.
I am not happy, bro. I am not happy that he left. And the reason why I'm not happy that he left, because I think that we got robbed of seeing how good that Toronto team was, them defending their NBA championship. Because I think that at minimum, if he's on that crew, they're back in the NBA championship the next year. At minimum, man, in the NBA championship. On top of that, the idea that all of that money was left on the table just because he wanted to go home, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that logic.
Right. I understand that. What I'm trying to say is that you guys, you know what you guys are doing right now? You know what you guys are doing? You guys are victim blaming. You guys.
He's not a victim.
You guys are victim shaming.
What the hell are you doing here?
Real talk. You guys are victim shaming Kawhi Leonard right now. That's what you guys are doing.
He's not a victim.
You guys victim shaming Kawhi Leonard.
So he was the victim getting $28 million.
You know what Steve Ballmer did? Steve Ballmer used his money.
By the way,
Steve Ballmer used his money and influence to take advantage of Kawhi Leonard.
A drop in the bucket of what he actually got.
Steve Ballmer did. He was a man with power. and he used his power, money, and influence to take advantage of Kawhi Leonard, who was in a dire situation because his career could have been.
Wait, what is happening right now, Ron? I'm losing my mind.
Steve Ballmer
Who's
took
Kawhi Leonard
advantage
supposed to get kicked?
of an injured man. Steve
What's
And
going
Ballmer
someone is going to
is
clip
a
this and say we're
predator.
all
Steve
crazy.
Ballmer is
Happening
the
right
Steve
now.
Ballmer is the guilty
Ox,
one,
the mute
allegedly,
button
not
exists.
Kawhi Leonard.
Use it.
This is Steve Ballmer's situation. Kawhi
Am I
Leonard is
losing
not
my
on
mind?
trial right now. Steve Ballmer is on trial right now. Kawhi did nothing wrong. He signed his contract and he got taken advantage of by a wealthy billionaire, a white male wealthy billionaire. You hear that real talk? A wealthy white male
Oh
took
my
advantage
God.
with his
This is
influence,
so not
power,
happening right here.
finances,
Okay.
and the
So-
fact that he could
Oh, my
offer him a
goodness,
new
man.
way
so-
of life in California.
Does he
So-
kick puppies
so Ron-
too? What
so
else?
Probably,
was
probably.
So Ron,
Steve Ballmer
Steve
kicking
Ballmer is
puppies?
the problem here.
Damn.
Ron, so we're clear. So we're clear, Ron. Last I checked, when Kawhi Leonard took that contract in 2019, 2020 to go back to the Clippers, I think he's in year 8, which means that I am well versed in getting money. Not only am I well versed in getting money, I'm well versed in being around people who get money. So I'm enhanced in the business world. So there's nothing Steve Ballmer can trick me into doing. There's nothing Steve Ballmer can manipulate me into doing. Why? Because last I checked, when he was in San Antonio, when he was in San Antonio, when he had the knee injury, they tried to trick him into playing. You're not going to tell me how I feel. You're not going to tell me what's going on with my body.
He's
So
a
with that
battered.
being
He's
said-
a battered
so with that-
athlete.
So with that being said, when I
PTSD.
moved from Toronto to Los Angeles, you're not going to trick me into moving to Los Angeles. No, what we're going to do is we're going to make a deal. And the deal is the money that you leave on the table in Toronto, we're going to get that back when you come to Los Angeles. That's
Chill,
the deal.
you keep saying that, but that's not accurate. Like
I
this is what I'm trying to say. It's not about trying to get back money that you got in Toronto. You were trying to get more money from Toronto. Like that's what y'all are not understanding. This was
Uncle
open.
Dennis was doing that. Uncle Dennis should be in this paperwork, not Kawhi Leonard.
Correct.
Y'all
Okay,
blaming the
that's
wrong
cool.
person.
Okay, cool.
Shout out,
That's his uncle. Okay, and when his father passed away, when Mark Leonard passed away, shout out to Mark Leonard. You know, tragic the shooting. Okay, when he passed away, Kawhi went quiet, and ultimately is his uncle who has handled his interests. You know, he's handled his business, and he's been like an advisor, a father figure, etc. to him. And the Spurs were aware of this. The Raptors were aware of this. Getting good with Uncle Dennis, getting good with Kawhi. Okay, Phil Handy was in Toronto with Kawhi, right? We definitely bent over backwards to please Kawhi. Because that's what you do when you have a superstar. You cater to the superstar. I get it. Okay, they let him miss practices. They let him load manage. They told him they're going to revive his career, and in return, he agreed to the deal. I'm here for a year. I'll see how I feel after it. I'm gonna deliver y'all. And he played through the playoffs. You know the reason I'm okay with him leaving and I'm not emotional about him leaving is because he played through pain to get us a championship. Championships are not guaranteed. Championships are not granted. You could be a great team for 25 years and never win a championship. So the fact that Kawhi delivered a championship, I'm good. Even if he hadn't delivered a championship, even got us to the finals, I'll be like, I'm good, yo. We ain't never seen this, but we ain't ever seen the finals in Toronto. So I'm not mad that he left. I'm mad that he wanted to stay.
Then why didn't he stay then? Then why didn't he stay?
The Raptors refused.
Because he didn't want to, chill.
No, that's not it. The Raptors refused to do this. And I have on, like,
This is on good authority.
I promise you it is true. They went to the Raptors and they made demands. They made demands on the roster. They made demands on money. They made demands on, like how he would be used in the offense. They made demands on his usage, role, all this stuff. Obviously, that a lot of superstars do. Minutes, load management, all of this stuff. Okay, all of it. But also certain things that go beyond, like, I don't know, little shell corporations to get Kawhi a little bit more brand deals. The Raptors are very wealthy. Okay, the Raptors are very connected. They're owned by Rogers here, so Rogers will have connections into TV deals and all this stuff. But Rogers is a publicly traded company, and getting caught up in a scandal where like Steve Ballmer is an independent owner, Rogers is a conglomerate, is a different situation. When you deal with an individual owner, you end up in like Mark Cuban, Vivek Ranadive, Steve Ballmer, Matt Ishbia. These guys are independently wealthy. They are single person owners. They operate somewhat unilaterally. when you operate like with a publicly traded company like Rogers or anyone, Cablevision, whatever, these big companies, they have boards, they have stockholders, they have to think about this stuff, because if the board gets indicted or if they find out that Masai Ujiri's career is over, so they made a calculated decision. They're not going to break the rules of the CBA, be unfair to the other 29 teams, expose themselves to risk. Let's be honest, that's a big part of it. Expose themselves to the risk associated with agreeing to Uncle Dennis's demands, and thinking, the Raptors thinking, no other team is going to agree to do the shit that they are asking us to do.
Right, but
And then
Steve
what
Ballmer,
happened?
but Steve Ballmer
Steve
is a
Ballmer
thug.
comes around and says,
Steve
"You know
Ballmer's
what?
a thug,
I know you're
and he said,
crazy.
"I
I know
will
you're
do
asking me to break the law. I know you're asking me to fuck over the other 29 teams. I'll go there with you because I'm that desperate. I'm that loud, hollering, insecure man with billions of dollars, but I need to add a championship next to my name, and I don't give a fuck how I do it." He broke up a happy home.
And took advantage of Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi's not going to take advantage of.
He is a thug.
And that's funny. That's funny.
Steve
got him there.
Steve Ballmer is a thug.
No, he's a
criminal,
Trump. And
he
you know
took
what?
advantage of Kawhi Leonard.
The entire
he
Clippers
threw away,
organization.
he threw around his power, weight, and influence.
You know
He's
what?
the one. Kawhi
Karma's
Leonard
a
ain't do
bitch,
nothing
though,
but
right?
play basketball.
Karma's a bitch, though, right? No
Kawhi Leonard ain't do
championships,
nothing but play
no
basketball.
finals, no championships, no
Kawhi,
finals.
yeah,
And guess
he
what?
don't.
Guess what,
Kawhi
Ox?
got his.
Guess what, Ox? Guess what, Ox? The young player you traded to appease Kawhi just won a championship. That's called
And
karma.
Kawhi,
is
he
a
don't got
bitch.
as many.
And
He don't
now
got as many
you're
championships
probably
as
going
Kawhi.
to lose the first round picks that you actually do have for the next few years because the NBA
He
is
don't
gonna
got as
feel
many
a pressure.
championships as Kawhi.
What?
He don't got as many championships as Kawhi.
What does that
What's
matter?
the punishment for this, by the way?
Because that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking
It
about
should be
Kawhi
more
Leonard.
than what
It
happened
should
with the
be
Joe
a
Smith situation.
suspension.
For who? Kawhi?
Steve
Ball.
You're out of there.
Ballmer needs to pay a fine,
I'm
a massive
to
fine.
the Lakers. That's fine.
Ballmer needs to pay a massive
Why-
fine. And
why-
Kawhi-
why y'all-
well,
why
shit,
are you-
I mean, you know what?
You try.
Chill.
See, real talk.
You
I
ain't even
expect
got
more
to
from you,
suspend
brother.
Kawhi because he ain't finna be playing anything.
You know what?
Facts.
By the way,
You,
that's
no,
not
real
fair.
talk.
Hang on.
Real talk. I
You need to
expect
make
better
an
from you.
example
Real talk.
out
I
of this.
expect better from
Fellas,
you.
we got
Nah,
one
real talk,
mic.
real talk.
Relax.
I'm trying to do this to a black man.
We got one mic. Relax.
To a brother. Real talk, you better
Oh,
than
my
that.
God.
This
Like,
is a
we don't-
brother,
we
a
have
black
5
man
minutes.
that
We
was
don't have-
taking advantage of a wealthy billionaire white man,
We've
and y'all just gonna
heard
go ahead and
this.
throw Kawhi under the bus? This brother
How
ain't doing
is
nothing but trying to play
28
basketball.
million
I
being
understand that
taken
you're trying to be an
advantage of?
entertainer, but we got a real serious issue here
You know
of
what?
precedence. And here's the thing:
It
if
happens
you
all the
if
time.
you
Go
if you
somewhere else.
softball
Bob-
this, if you allow this to happen, if you allow them to get off with a little fine of $1 million or $2 million or even $5 million or $10 million or a
That's nothing.
10-game suspension,
That's nothing.
that is not enough.
No, but
because
Pin,
this
you're the one.
can tilt
Pin, you're the
the
one. You're the
balance
one who
of
just
NBA
said that it was
history
okay.
going forward. If I
Pin,
can
you
pay you
said that.
under the table, if I can pay you 50, 60, 80, 90, $100 million under the table and get away with it by losing a first round pick, it's not enough. I will
But
pay
Pin,
that
you
$100 million.
you said 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago, you said I'm okay with some type of fraudulent stuff. You said that you were okay, so you can't
What?
now say you can't.
I said I'm okay with
you
some
did
kind of.
say that. You did say that. You said
I said I'm okay with you. That's
said
not
I'm okay with
fraudulent,
you
yo.
to a
Can
certain
you
extent.
stop that?
That's what you said. Rewind the tape. You said
I
it
said
on
I'm
tape.
okay with you asking
said,
for.
Pin,
It's
Pin,
fraudulent
you
to ask
said-
for
you
your
said
trainer
that
to
it
get on
was
a
okay
coaching
to
staff.
do
That's
some
fraudulent.
tampering.
That's a favor,
you
bro.
said
No.
some tampering is okay.
That's
You
not tampering.
said that.
That's
You
not
said
tampering.
some
That's not
level of
tampering.
tampering.
You
I can
stop
turn my
pointing at
head
me
to.
and telling me
Jack,
what I
did he
said.
not say that?
I
Did he
not
not
say
say
tamp.
that? I'm
I
not pointing at you. I'm pointing at
specifically,
everybody.
you got
Calm
listening
down.
problems, bro. You got listening.
All
Those
right.
headphones
Okay,
might not
got
be
you,
working.
Got you.
Yeah, of course.
Meow.
I said very
Meow.
clearly. I said very clearly that if you get your assistant coach or if you get your trainer onto the assistant coach, that's not fraud. That's not fraud. This is fraud. I said there is a level of favoritism and shit like that that I'm willing to accept because that happens all the time. Tim Duncan wanted his family to fly with him when he was going to Orlando. Remember that?
Oh my God.
We
I
do
can't
remember
believe
that,
it.
right?
Yes, I
That's
do
a
remember that.
favor. That's not fraud.
You said you're okay with some level of tampering, but this was too much.
This
That's
is
what you
not tampering. This is a favor. I specifically said the behavior that I'm cool with. You getting someone a little cushy job at the front office for like $100,000, like a family member. I'm cool with that. You getting your trainer onto our assistant coaching staff. I'm cool with that. You making a little demand about, how we. I don't know, do practices. I'm cool with that. You want to load manage 10 minutes, 10 games a year. I'm cool with that. This is all part of the beyond the books negotiation. That's not fraud, though. It's just off the books negotiation. It's not fraud. What they've done here is fraud. That's different. There are definitions and differences to this, and unfortunately, I don't think you understand what you're talking about. And that's why you're emotional right now, because you don't understand what you're talking about.
Emotional about what?
Yeah, emotional ops.
Emotional about, oh my God, they've taken advantage of my dear Kawhi. What have they done to my boy?
I'm so serious about that, Pin. What I said was, I think that this is a Steve Ballmer issue. Y'all calling it a Kawhi Leonard scandal. It's a Steve Ballmer scandal.
Of course it is a Steve Ballmer issue.
Okay,
so Kawhi Leonard is involved in.
But Kawhi was
That
involved.
Kawhi Leonard is involved in.
And Uncle Dennis is very much involved.
You're emotional because you're mad that he left Toronto. What I'm saying is that y'all all
and
I
you're emotional
said,
because you don't understand the situation.
Relax. All I said was that this is a Steve Ballmer scandal. Y'all blaming the wrong person.
That Kawhi Leonard is involved.
Who's blaming Kawhi?
That he's
sitting here saying like Kawhi's a bad person? Nobody said that.
So you're saying what
Nobody
I'm saying.
said
What
that.
you yelling at me for?
Did I say that? Did I say Kawhi's a bad guy?
Wait,
I love
Pin,
Kawhi. I still love Kawhi.
You're
Kawhi's
saying
great.
what I'm saying, and what you so mad at me for?
I've never been disparaging towards Kawhi. No, I'm not saying what you're saying.
What are you yelling at me for, Pin?
Blameless.
You're saying what I'm saying.
He's not blameless. You're saying he's like, oh my God, they've done this to him. No, he knows what they did. Uncle Dennis simply has to go up to Kawhi and say, listen, you are the hottest free agent
Pin,
in the NBA right now.
Bro. Calm down,
and we got this guy over in LA who's willing to break any rule in the world. This is what it is. The negotiation comes down to this. How far are you willing to take it? Okay.
So Kawhi's guilty. Kawhi's guilty of receiving stolen goods.
No.
Hey, look. Chill. That's that. We'll plead guilty to that. We'll take that one. We'll take that charge. We'll take that charge. But fraud, tampering, no sir. But receiving stolen goods, fine. We'll take that.
Knowing that you are circumventing.
We'll sign that plea deal. We'll sign that plea. I'm good with that.
So why is it that players prior to the NIL deals were implicated for receiving money from boosters? Why is it that
that's a complete take that court somewhere else?
Wait, Judge Ox, I do have a question. Because now, is it that Kawhi Leonard only knew that he was getting some let's say some mysterious funds right from Steve Ballmer through this organization? Kickback. Or did he know that the organization or this charity or whatever it is was fraudulent to begin with, because now we can charge conspiracy because it takes two to tango.
No, sir.
Two or more is conspiracy. So
wait. We had no idea where this money was coming from. There's at least 3 different people in between Steve Ballmer and my client.
This dude
you
really
got
think he's skating on this charge. Ox, you not skating on this charge. Ox, you not skating on this charge, Ox. You not. This is not OJ. This is not anybody else. You're not skating on this charge.
OJ innocent.
No, you're not.
Yo, chill. I do want to ask you a question. I have a super chat from DSG Piccolo, and I would like to hear what happened and what went on in the NBA during this time. A lot of the young people in the chat may not know who Joe Smith is, but DSG Piccolo said, so if the Wolves got picks taken for Joe Smith, then what should happen to the Clippers? Do they even have picks to take? Chill, can you give people the context on Joe Smith and what happened with that?
They ended up paying Joe Smith under the table. That was the deal.
What year was this?
98. This was right around when the lockout was.
No, 88. Wait, you were at 98. My bad. I'm so sorry.
It was 98. So they ended up paying him some extra dough under the table, and the NBA got wind of it. With the NBA getting wind of it, they ended up taking. I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, Penn. You can fact check this. I want to say like 3 or 4 ones that they ended up taking from them, which wrecked them, by the way. Which really put a bind on them because they don't have a first round pick for the next 4 years, which would also explain why KG wasn't able to be as good as he could possibly be in terms of a team, because they didn't have any first round picks. So that's what ultimately happened.
He signed 3 consecutive 1-year deals for less than $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
that was trying to whoop the NBA.
Yes, they were, and then they got wind of it, and they was like, "Okay, we see what you guys are doing. We about to shut this down."
Yeah.
But Ox, to your point, real talk. Ox really think Leonard is skating on this. He got Leonard over here in the suit, like Leonard is the victim. Yo, you must be crazy if you think he ain't going to jail for this. Yes,
I'm not gonna lie. If this was like real life and not just via sports league,
I just took the 28 million. I ain't know where it
they
was coming
would be
from.
potentially looking at some.
I ain't know what happened. They manipulated me into taking this money.
Yeah,
Give me a break, man. Hell no. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they put Kawhi with some nice tennis courts. I hope they don't put him where Tory Lanez went. Brett Bovia sent through a super chat and said the richest owner in the NBA in one of the biggest markets was circumventing the cap. Yeah, we got to throw the book at them. And I say this as a Clippers fan.
Absolutely.
Just like they're doing it in Milwaukee, just like they're doing it in Minnesota. They're doing it all over the place. It just so happened, Ox, to your point, we got a whistleblower. We got somebody that's running their mouth. We got a snitch in the house. That's what happened.
Y'all got caught. It is what
And you know why? And you know why we got a snitch, Ox? Because this all goes back to one thing. When you're paying people, once you start paying them, you gotta keep paying. Because once you stop paying them, people start talking. How you think that tape with Diddy came out? That shit happened 10 years ago. The reason why that tape with him beating up that woman came out was because whoever he was paying, he stopped paying him. Oh, you think you're gonna stop paying me? Okay, I'll show you. Now all of a sudden we see the tape. So that's how we found out. Just so you know, Ox, Leonard been on the Clippers for 5 years now. It ain't like he just got on the crew. He been on the crew for 5 years. How come we know about this years ago? The reason why we know about this years ago, because somebody wasn't getting their tapes. And then you gonna keep this quiet? Okay. You think I'm gonna keep quiet? No, I'm not.
Damn. Well, they not quiet anymore. Damn.
No, they're not.
Oh my.
Wooly Bobcat says if somebody robs a bank and hides the money at my house and I know it's there, I'm just as much at fault. Give Leonard the lifetime ban, and Ballmer should be forced to sell the team.
We don't got to do all that.
Leonard, the lifetime ban. No,
Yeah,
Kawhi is not going to
that.
get. I don't think Kawhi is going to get suspended. It will be the Clippers who will pay.
Money, and I want to get this person paid and that person paid and get this person hired and that person hired. Let's just be honest. There's a limit to tampering that I'm willing to stomach and accept. If
we got him. We got him. We got his ass.
We got him. We got him. That's exactly what I said. I said that I am willing to tolerate that level, but that's not fraud. You said fraud.
Send in the back.
Fraud and tampering.
I got a 10-4.
I'm sick and tired of this bullshit where you just get to scream and shout and act like you're right. You're not right. You're not right. You didn't cook. You didn't cook nothing. You didn't cook nothing. You said I was cool with fraud.
You cooked yourself.
No, shut up, man. I didn't say I was good with fraud. I didn't say I was good with fraud.
Penn said there's a level that I'm willing to accept.
And what was that level?
A level of what? A level of what?
And what
There's
was
a level of there's a level of tampering.
Oh,
There's a level of
So Penn, like misdemeanor, no felonies.
There's a level of tampering
At
that
what
I'm
point,
willing to
Mr. Cook, get back in the kitchen. When did I say in that clip that I was cool with fraud? When?
You did not say that. You never said that.
When did I say I was cool with paying guys $70 million, $25 million under the table? Brand deals? No. I said,
So
I'm
what
cool
are
with you
the
getting your
illegal
cousin
activities
hired.
that you're cool with?
The reason that I'm cool with it is because everybody does that. Everybody.
No.
does that.
I'm asking. What illegal activities are you cool with? You say you're not cool with that, but what are you?
I'm cool with
I think we're on a
where
case
there
by
is
case
a gray
basis,
line. If there
I
is a
think we're on a
gray
case by
line.
case
So
basis,
for instance,
real talk.
let me give you an example. Let's just say I'm trying to get Wemby to LA. Real talk. You interested? A little Wemby action in a few years? Okay, cool. So I'm trying to get him, and I'll just slip it in there. Just be like, you know what? I happen to know a movie producer who asked me if I know a 7'4" guy who has some good acting chops. I could possibly introduce him the next time we see each other. I'll let you know. That's a sweetener. That shit happens all the time. I know a record producer who could help your cousin. I know this and that. I've talked to people who like will expose this side of the world because I'm not there. I'm sorry, no one offered me that kind of shit. But I do know some people who get offered this kind of shit. And on a smaller level, it's a little corrupt. But
now, with that being said,
it's not something I'm going to throw the book at somebody for and demand that they lose 6 first-round picks because they, I don't know, they got their cousin a record deal. I'm so sorry. No,
stay right
when
there.
we're talking $27 million, that's crazy.
This is what I'm saying, Penn. So stay right there, Penn. So in addition to that, real talk. So I know a guy who runs Bank of America in Los Angeles, and we can set up this account where $28 million or $30 million gets funneled to you, and we can cover it up. Are you comfortable with that?
No, I'm not comfortable with that, Joe.
I mean,
it's crazy.
No,
getting my cousin a job with the traveling secretary because he's, qualified for the job, kind of, but give him a little boost because he's, related to the star player. That's one thing. Okay. Get my trainer onto the staff, with the G League program. That's another thing. Vivek Ranadive, total nepotism, by the way. I probably should have used the word nepotism. Getting his daughter a job as the GM of their G League team, the Stockton Kings. That's a little bit of nepotism. She is woefully underqualified for that job, although she probably cooking the job. I mean, my point is there's favors and then there's fraud.
Now, what I do know, what I've heard,
I'm cool with favors. I'm cool with favors.
All right,
you said you were cool with. You said you were cool with tampering.
Do tomorrow later.
Okay, let me clarify my for the record. I am cool with a few favors, and
so you're not cool with tampering.
I am cool with the league average amount of tampering, which is to say,
the league average. They got a stat.
I didn't know they had league averages.
Let me be
clear.
Is there a
stat for that? Real
players talking to each other. Okay,
what's the VORT of average?
What's the block plus
so
minus
much,
for
listen so little, you might learn something. Listen, I'm
Is
cool.
it 15 mil per?
Oh my God!
I
understand that Giannis and Paolo may have spoken to each other at some point over the last 3 years, and maybe, just maybe, Paolo would be like, "You ever think about buying a house in Orlando?" I understand that level of tampering. I've heard it. I've seen it, and it's
tampering over replacement.
It's ridiculous to assume that level of tampering will never happen. You would have to literally lock players in prisons.
You said they'll buy my house, right? You said they'll buy my house?
No. I didn't say buy my house. I
said, somebody reach out to Mars and give me the league average on tampering per player, please? I know Mars can pull that up quick, fast, and in the hair.
I'm saying if it's average, then there's no advantage. Okay. If the average team has a player who talks to 3-4 other players on each other team, then that's not an advantage. Okay. The question here is, what advantage did the Clippers have by extending this offer to Kawhi Leonard? And the advantage is no other team in the league would have done this or was willing to do this. Okay, you understand the point?
I have a quick question for you. From what I heard, when he was in Toronto, he got he had a penthouse for him. Correct? No, I'm just saying.
Don't put your head down, huh?
He had a penthouse.
Masai do a little tampering.
That was paid for. That was paid for. Also heard that he was able to fly, I want to say via helicopter. That was also paid for, not from him. So if these things added up to about $20 to $25 million,
if you think renting a penthouse for a year adds up to $25 million.
What if they flat out? But they could have
buy
buying a penthouse. It was a nice.
They didn't buy it for him. A lot, but this is what I'm saying. That's a comfortable amount of sweeteners. Okay, and the word I should use is sweet tampering. You can call it tampering, and if you want to be totally by the letter of the law, that you're not allowed to provide players of any value. But the NBA is willing to look the other way on certain things, and the certain things include. By the way, Ox, the certain things include a nicer hotel room. The certain things include maybe nicer food, nicer. I'll give you an example. Steve Ballmer has invested.
Where's the black and white here, though? Where's the line? Dude, I'm just curious about what the line is.
Think about what I'm saying. The advantages to playing for the Clippers right now, you get to play in the most state-of-the-art arena. You get to have the most state-of-the-art facility. How is that any different than, I don't know, giving you a penthouse to live in for a year?
Everybody plays there.
Everybody can upgrade.
Everybody does not have the same. Well, everybody doesn't have billions of dollars lying around like Steve Ballmer. There are teams that are haggling with their cities and their mayors to get more money for renovations because, we're so poor. We don't have any money. Okay, so that's the point. The point is the Clippers are finding every single little advantage to try and compete in the NBA. And I get that. I understand that. And in tech, it's totally different. But here, you have broken a code. You've broken the line. And by offering this guy $28 million through a shell corporation, which I believe, and as more comes out about this, I'll guarantee you $28 million is not even scratching the surface because I know what he has. I have some clues in terms of what he asked for from the Toronto Raptors, and I promise you it was more than $28 million. So the point here is that when you circumvent the cap, you basically make it so the cap doesn't even exist. That's the point.
Right.
Getting your friend
I
a job,
I get that.
getting your friend a job,
if they're wrong,
or, you know,
they deserve. If they're wrong, they deserve
like,
whatever comes for it. You know what I'm saying? If they get found guilty for this, whatever comes for it, they deserve it. They earn that. No doubt about that. I'm 100% with y'all on that. Like if this is wrong, and this is the thing though, this is coming out from these guys. I haven't seen anything that they're actually getting investigated. You know what I'm saying? The league, once that happens, and if this is wrong, then fine. You know what I'm saying? Of course,
like,
you deserve to get punished for whatever crime you commit. So yeah, I'm with
you know what, Ron? I'm actually, you know what I've realized is
the Raptors did
I
it
think
too.
I'm a hater of Kawhi, but not for reasons like Ox would think. But I've never seen anybody get paid so much to not do their job. Like, he doesn't play basketball regularly, and his job is to play basketball, and he's already got a super max contract and an extra $30 million to not play.
Imagine being that good that they'll break
wish.
the law for you, and you only playing 40 games. Boy, you gotta be that good. Could you imagine?
Nah, I mean somebody think he that good for sure. Clearly,
Hey,
Ballmer
Steve Ballmer finna go to jail behind it. So,
Ballmer clearly.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
What I need y'all to do is I need y'all to stop victim shaming though, okay?
Kawhi Leonard makes less money than Jaylen Brown. Kawhi Leonard's a better player than Jaylen Brown.
He got the super max.
What did Jaylen Brown is involved in this too? He got indicted for this too? What he do? I'm about to say, because we'll do this all day. I ain't going for that. Jaylen and Kawhi, hell no. Nah.
I'm simply saying, like,
no, sir.
Kawhi Leonard if Kawhi Leonard's not earning his keep at $50 million, $49 million last year, is Jaylen Brown earning his $60 million?
That's not none of my business.
$55 million? Was Bradley Beal earning his money? Like, this is what happens when you pocket watch.
I love to see young brothers getting money. You the one pocket watching.
I'm pocket watching?
I love to see young brothers getting money.
Oh, you must be confused again. That was real talk. I'm Penn. Nice to meet you.
All right, well, right quick Pin talk before we move on to the super chats. I do want to show you guys this about, well, what happened in Toronto and what allegedly led to Kawhi leaving Toronto. As you can see in this tweet, Kawhi Leonard reportedly asked owner Larry Tannenbaum to line up an extra $15 million in endorsements when deciding his free agency decision.
15 mil? Oh, cheap ass owner.
No. It was more than that, but sure. Okay, cool.
How much more, Penn? What's the number?
I'm not saying.
You don't know?
I have a really good idea of the number, but it's more than 15 million.
Well, they should have got their cheap ass off their ass. And
it's not really cheap ass. It's understanding that the consequence for this could be, I don't know,
there ain't gonna be no consequence. I guarantee you, Steve Ballmer don't even get a slap on the wrist for this shit. This is make-believe allegations. Okay. This is America. You are innocent till proven guilty. We must go through due process. And y'all are trying to hang this man. This is a black man trying to feed his family, and y'all are out here trying to take. Y'all are out here doing this. I can't believe y'all. This brother is out here trying to feed his family, and y'all want to throw him under the bus, and he ain't even do nothing. He ain't been to court. He hasn't been indicted. Nothing. And this is the problem. This is the problem. Y'all always want to just shame somebody in the public, make articles, make videos, and y'all don't even have no real evidence. Just because 3 eggheads got on TV and said, "Oh yeah, you see that, look at that." Man, it's 2025. You know how much stuff can be doctored, paperwork. Man, we don't know.
Like there was something in Toronto called Kawhi and Dine. Did you ever hear about this?
Yeah, I heard about that.
He eats for free.
Eats for free at any restaurant.
Yeah, y'all definitely offered him $25 million worth of shit. It just was spread out. Free places.
But he wanted to go to a real place
for free.
Like Los Angeles.
To eat everywhere for free. Come on, this is basically
somebody want to be up in Toronto.
He could show Kawhi and dine.
Players eat for free.
He Kawhi and dash.
If you playing in a small European town, like in a country that actually cares about basketball in Europe, if you playing in Serbia, if you playing for Partizan Belgrade, most of your food is free. Most of the clubs,
and they doing fraud.
And I'll tell you something else. They line up women for you. They line up apartments for you. They line up.
Sound like
cars
some
for
Diddy
you.
shit to me. You know they on there fraud.
I didn't say they line up little kids for you. I said they line up women
Diddy
for
ain't
you.
do nothing to no little kids. Did you read the paperwork? See,
Yeah.
that's that public inspection thing. Y'all always trying to find somebody guilty in the public court.
So you trying to defend Steve Ballmer and Diddy in the same episode?
Yeah,
cool,
hell
I
yeah,
obviously-
hell yeah. Not Steve Ballmer, not Steve Ballmer.
You not getting invited to those parties, man.
All right, y'all. We gonna get to these super
I throw my
chats.
own parties.
I appreciate everybody
Diddy
that's
parties?
in here.
Hey, my parties go crazy, man.
I appreciate everybody that's in here. If you are on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, if you're on
heard him.
YouTube, follow us across all platforms.
No,
Make
yeah,
sure you
Eli,
like the
you can pull
video, subscribe, and become a member. Also, shout out to all of our Hall of Famers. You guys are Hall of Famers for a reason because you guys hold it down for PC. This includes Vale or otherwise known as Vale Grills. Shout out to Vale Grills. This includes Bulletproof. This includes Kingster, Teddy Hart, Trevi, Cheese, Joe Breezy, Worldwide Mace TV, and Multi Kenny. Salute to all of y'all. All right, everybody that sent through super chats. Let's get into it. Slitherman said earlier, Real Talk said role players are taking less shots now, and that's just not true.
Yeah, I saw that super chat earlier. I don't really know when I said that. I said they're not taking like mid-range shots and stuff, that they have 2-3 shots, a spot 3 or a layup or dunk, basically is that's what I said. I didn't say they weren't shooting.
IDK said Shaq didn't know who the Pistons coach was. That's how bad it was.
The Pistons ain't know who their coach was. Shit. What? They was out there losing 50 games straight. They ain't know who was coaching that team.
Bandit SPS said, I'm not gonna lie. Penn is a smart guy and be cooking sometimes. He's just a jackass. Dub jackass, dub panel, L Mars, dub L host. Thank you, Bandit.
Dub L host. Yeah, I'd be a jackass sometimes.
Jackass.
We still love you.
Adam Sandler references. I get it.
Acro said they couldn't offer a top 5 player / great basketball mind a contract / seat to commentate. 2 things can be true. They didn't adapt to the times.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That could be true, man. You know, whatever.
I think Jason Kidd would be great at commentating. Draymond's pretty good too.
Draymond be doing the same shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Charles
saying. What?
Barkley and them be doing. Oh man, the league is, and he playing.
He's really not, but okay. I disagree.
He definitely does that.
You haven't
when
heard the way he
he's
talks about Rudy Gobert?
He's definitely done that while he's on.
I
TV.
talk that way about Rudy Gobert. It's not doesn't
Oh,
mean
well, you're
I'm
guilty too then. All of you.
like explaining nuance.
Euro step, bro. Stop skipping leg days and your legs won't be so tired. Euro step.
Void Century said Jordan ain't showing up on the show ever since Real Talk tested his gangster. Quote unquote, the bullies get bullied in my hood.
I'm not a gangster, but he's not either. So it's fine. We're talking basketball, man.
It's just basketball, y'all. Just have fun. Y'all got to learn how to have fun, man. You got to learn how to get excited about your life, man. We enjoying ourselves up here.
Oh my goodness.
I know I am, man. I love coming to work every day.
Well, Dane sent through a super chat, and Dane said, why the Bobo variant so emotional about another man?
Who's the Bobo variant?
Yeah, who's that?
It ain't me.
I don't know what he's talking about at all. But thanks for the super chat, Dane. Unlimited Z said the Celtics drove to the rim the second most in the NBA. In the NBA, they drive, the defense always collapses. So they spray out. Penn is right.
Shock.
No, that's what we
Shock.
said. We said the same thing, that they kick it out. Like, we're all.
You drive
know
the
there was-
second
there was-
most in it. What? How many threes do they shoot? Who shoots the most threes in the NBA? Where's the Celtics at?
Celtics for sure shoot the most threes in the NBA.
So they drive the most, the second most, but they shoot the most threes.
They drive to get.
I don't
open
know
dunks.
how this isn't correlating with you.
No,
I don't
real talk.
understand how
No,
this
real
is not
talk. Real talk.
correlated for you.
It makes sense. But what
Okay.
I would think, if you drove the second most, you should have the second most layups or top 10 layups.
Do they?
Not,
Are they?
not
Pin, are they?
necessarily.
Wait.
Not necessarily.
If they are, will you shut up about this, Ron? If they're number 1 or 2 in layups, will you leave this alone?
Well, no,
They're
real talk.
definitely
That,
not.
but no, what I'm saying is that I think a lot of times in this episode in particular, I think a lot of times we were saying a lot of the same stuff,
Yeah.
and it just wasn't coming off right. Like
Mhm.
the whole point me and Chill was making was that a lot of times they're driving and passing up layups to kick it out. So the fact that they are driving the second most, but shows what we were saying. Yeah, they're getting to the rim, but if they're not taking those shots and they're also shooting a lot of threes, that's what we were saying. You know what I'm saying? So it's not
Somebody
my
said
thing.
they're
My
bottom
thing
10
isn't
in
about.
layups.
My thing wasn't about whether they're contested shots or open shots. It was more so the point that they're doing a lot of drive and kicking. That's what we were saying. That's all. No big deal.
And
No
they're
big
bottom
deal.
10 in layups, Ron. So you can still get your driving to shoot
Yeah.
the threes off.
Keep cooking it around bottom 10 of layups. Keep cooking.
I wonder why. All right, Grande Jones said,
basketball.
aren't the Inside the NBA crew going to ESPN? Question mark.
Yes.
Dub Ox, Dub Ron, and most importantly, Dub Ghostwriters. Well, really L Ghostwriters, but I digress. What's funny, Ox?
Nothing, bro.
Why is
You're taking this whole thing as a joke, and we're not with you.
This is a
'cause
serious
it's funny,
ordeal.
bro. No, it's not. We talk about basketball. This shit is just basketball, y'all. It's just a game, bro. We having fun with it.
Man.
Damn.
You
I have
should
nothing-
do your job in a serious manner, Ox.
No, I will not. I like to have fun at work. You know what I'm saying? I like to have fun, man. Y'all need to lighten up a little bit, man. Damn. Shit.
this is like next level gaslighting?
Napping Trey said, Pin, speaking of which, Pin, you got to stop letting these guys bait you. LOL.
Oh, don't worry. I have no emotions. There's not an emotional reaction. I mean, this is entertainment. I really don't care. I used
Not
to actually
emotion,
get
it's psychosis.
cool. Yeah, I used to get like rattled up in these episodes, and I would go and I would listen to it afterwards, and I would think about like what I should have said and stuff. I actually just brush this aside. Like once I'm off, I'm off. I'm not thinking about this again until I see you next time. It's in one ear, out the other.
Field Boy 7 said, what Ox just said is equivalent to when your girl catches your homeboy cheating on his girl and comes and tells you, mind your effing business.
The shit don't got nothing to do with me. I don't shit. Who you know what I'm saying? What he eat don't make me shit.
There you have it. Backdoor Dre said, y'all think the NBA should go 1 through 16 seeds for the playoffs?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be
100%.
much better.
They should play. Everybody should play everybody 3 times and go 1 through 16.
Interesting.
Makes sense.
Bandit SBS sent through a members chat and said, Ron hit the anti-gap button on Pin. Send them to hell.
Yeah, I remember that. To do an ad read?
No, Pin, your Wi-Fi went out.
No, I was sitting backstage.
How'd that happen?
You moved me backstage.
I guess we'll never know.
See, Pin, that's why I'm a WS because I would never do that to you.
I'm pretty sure you've done that.
Oh, I haven't.
Oxcourt. Yeah, you did.
Oh, that was different. That's
that's
way
different.
different.
Yeah,
That was way different.
Yeah, you were host.
No, I'm talking about I'm a W host on this platform.
Oh, okay. Very segmented. Self-praise. Got you. Yes. You're great.
Yeah, I love me. I'm always praise myself. I love myself.
Avery B said, y'all see the Kawhi news? Dude really demanded everything in 2019 as a free agent, and turns out he's taking money under the table. Bad for the league.
Kawhi Leonard is who everybody thinks Ben Simmons is.
That's not true at all.
That's absolutely.
That's
true.
ridiculous.
It's 2
Ben
finals
Simmons.
MVPs. Put some respect on it.
I'm talking about post.
Yeah.
Post 2020s.
Okay.
Everything Ben
That's
Simmons is.
Absolutely bullshit.
KB Knows Ball said, bro just admitted to film studying a podcast. I'm in tears, bruh.
You can be in tears. won't put knowledge in your brain. I promise you as a content creator, it is very helpful to go back and listen to the places where you slip up, where you get triggered, where you may sound wrong. Even, like, I think it's very useful for content creators to do this. I've definitely done it. I don't do it anymore with this show, but I used to do it for sure. And there's no shame in admitting that. You are not about to try and shame me into like, oh, well, I'm dumb. You should be dumb too. No, be dumb by yourself.
Yo, Pin, KB's a content creator.
Is he?
Yeah.
Cool. Never heard of him.
Oh man, keep cooking, Pin. Don't let nobody shame you for trying.
Hey, not too much. Not too much on KB now.
Yeah, not too much on KB.
I ain't saying nothing about KB.
Hey, KB, you want to enter the PCL?
Pull up.
Hey, KB, you want to enter the PCL?
Nah, but Pin, regardless,
I'm being serious. KB, hit me on Twitter if you want to enter the PCL, so you can show Pin what you made of.
Pin, I don't care who said it. I don't care who said it, bro. Don't let nobody shame you for trying. It's this weird thing people do nowadays where it's like, oh, if you try hard, you're weird, or if you care about something, it's dumb. Like, don't go for that, bro.
I would never go for that. I built my entire life on trying. I'm not the most naturally smart, gifted person. I try. I work hard. And I built my whole life on working hard. I put paper on working hard. I am very proud of that. I worked a $5 an hour job when I was 13 years old. And I remember people being like, you working all that for $5? Like, shut the fuck up. $5 is a lot of money right now. So, yeah, I work hard.
Yeah, but KB, you work hard too, and you should not let another man shame you on national YouTube. So if you would like to join the PCL, once again, you have an open invitation. I will put you in over Mike the Champ and one Slutty. All right, on to the next super chat from Willie Bobcat. Willie Bobcat sent through a members chat and said 34 out of 100 threes, or 34 out of 100 on threes is greater than 50 out of 100 on twos. Not saying it's that simple, but it makes sense to shoot more threes. I get way more room for error. What about free throws, jackass? What about M1s? What about three the hard way? If I shoot 100 layups, I'm pretty sure I'm going to probably get at least 10 M1s, 15 M1s. Is that safe to say? If I make 50 layups, I'm going to get 10
They're all like contested.
Right. It don't even matter, right?
We can't factor in M1s. We can't factor in if I shoot 100 layups and I make 50 of them. Out of the 50 that I missed, I'm probably going to shoot free throws on someone else.
Apparently, in your 40,000 hours, you never heard of the law of diminishing returns, right?
What I talked about before, Ron, is the fact that what about what happens after the shoot? But wait, but Ron, listen to this, because we talked about this before, and I actually made this point in the PCL once, where it's like, okay, what about those misses? Because typically, if I shoot a three and I miss it, it's typically a long rebound. So what about when the defense gets that long rebound, turns into a fast break for their point? When I miss a layup, it's more, I got more chance to stop the ball, stop the fast break, set up my defense. Things happen after the shot. You know what I'm saying? What happens after those missed shots?
They don't understand that.
Well.
They don't understand that.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure I'll give them more credit than that, right? I'm sure they understand.
No, they haven't watched as much film to know that. Claim they do though, but they haven't watched enough and been around the game enough. So, well, anyways, Two Clutch Corey became a YouTube member. Shout out to Two Clutch. I like the Stephon Castle picture. Tens also became a YouTube member. Dan joined up as a member as well, and Rick became a YouTube member too. Shout out to all of them. You should become a YouTube member as well. Dalai Lama said, charge Steve Ballmer with the RICO. Yikes.
True. But again, if it comes out that Kawhi knew, he's part of the conspiracy, so he's part of the RICO.
He couldn't talk. He was scared. He was intimidated. Steve Ballmer's a thug. He had his Microsoft thugs pull up on him.
No, your guy, Boss Man, said they took 5 firsts from the Wolves over $5 million. No? Was it 5 first? Was it Joe Smith situation?
I think it might have been 5. Yeah, it was tough, man. That ruined Kevin Garnett's entire prime.
It really did
in Minnesota. Like their inability to replenish. Like typically, right now, when you trade 5 first-round picks, you usually get a superstar back. You know what I mean? They didn't even get a superstar. They got Joe Smith, and then Joe Smith wasn't great for them at all. It's really sad.
Damn, Joey. All right, and last but not least, I got a members chat from E-Word. E-Word said this is the greatest show on the planet.
I agree, especially when I'm on.
Dope.
There.
Dope.
Hey, real talk. When y'all doing that meetup, I wanna make sure that I'm in
When we
attendance.
doing the meetup,
Yeah. Drop
I
those
don't know.
links so we can.
I don't know. I'm not going to release what's been said. You
You don't gotta release to me. I'm gonna be there.
I don't know.
Hey, I ain't gonna miss this.
Y'all
Hey,
can make up. There ain't no need for that.
this better than Canelo and Crawford.
Come on, gentlemen. We could be gentlemen, y'all.
Absolutely, Ox. I'm not. Yeah, I got something working behind the scenes and stuff. I ain't trying to jeopardize off enough.
I mean,
I've already had to do the me and Penn gotta go in the DM because Penn got hit up. No, I'm saying Penn, this is not because you scrunching up your face. I'm not saying this is because we had to talk behind the scenes already as well. I don't need to do that with somebody else because then I look like it's a me problem. So, I'm good.
Does the shoe fit?
I mean, maybe it does. I don't know. Maybe shit. If next month I'm beefing with Ox and Ox somehow pull up, maybe it is me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it is me. I don't know.
No, sir.
All right, y'all. Well, it has been real. It's been a good episode. A couple reminders. The PCL is on its way, season 3. Throwback Thursday is tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern time. And Splash Sports has a great Survivor game for $50K that will go to the winner. So sign up right here and right now. The link is in the description. You have until September 7th. That's this Sunday to join up and get in the game. I will see you guys in the winner's circle. Let's get to it. We out of here.
Peace.